Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the second matchup between the Pumas and the All Blacks. Now it is absolutely bucketing down at FMG Stadium, so we'll have to wait and see how that affects how this game is played. But of course, last week, Argentina getting a monumental win, their first ever on New Zealand soil. Can they make it 2 in a row? Now, this would be a little bit of a flashback for the All Black supporters of what they saw throughout their Irish tour if Argentina are able to get the job done. But speaking of the Pumas, currently, when we look at the way the table is sitting, it's only one side at the top, and that is Los Pumas. They are sitting top of the bunch. Now, last year, they didn't get themselves a single point in the Rugby Championship. This year, they have been able to get themselves 2 victories, one over Australia, one over the All Blacks in their last legs. They'll be heading into the Springboks, so that is why a win here could be absolutely crucial for them heading down the road in the Rugby Championship. Australia, they will be playing South Africa later on tonight in about 3 hours' time. That game will be also a very important one for the Springboks. Try and get themselves back up near that 9 points. But if the All Blacks win this, there is potential that we could see all of the sides sitting almost on the same points after 4 rounds of the Rugby Championship, which would be absolutely massive. Like I mentioned, raining at FMG Stadium, these conditions, it's hard to tell who they favour. Say that the All Blacks, normally they'd love to play a little bit more of that running game, or running rugby game in their backline, whereas for the Pumas, they've got those physical forwards, and also when they throw in those backs, it can be extremely dangerous. And nice suits says NBA edits. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you are doing very well. And what's happening in the field right now, says Strike. So currently the players are warming up. Argentina on one side, All Blacks on the other, and they are playing in the rain, which, I mean, we're definitely going to see plenty of slide when these guys do get out there ready to go for the 80 minutes. So let's go, Brandon, says John. And the All Blacks going to win in Sky Sports 1 or 2. It is on Sky Sports 1 for this matchup at FMG Stadium. Now, we have already seen some history being made today. We saw Northland beat Auckland for the first time in Northland in about 40-plus years, which is massive for them. So maybe, who knows, it could be another day of seeing plenty of history being made. But first of all, we will look through at the starting lineups and reserves for both of these sides. We are about 30 minutes away from kickoff. Beauden Barrett, they are showing him there. He is going to be warming up with the side. He will be coming off the bench at number 22 in this game, returning from his injury. But this is the All Black starting lineup. Now, you may think to yourself, geez, that looks a bit familiar from last week. That is because it is completely identical. The All Blacks deciding not to make any changes for the starting lineup up against Argentina. Ethan de Groot, Samasoni Takiaho, and Tyrell Lomax. They are going to be the front row. Then Sam Whitelock and Scott Barrett, the 2 Crusaders locks, get to slot in there. And the locking duo. Also, I should mention Takiaho. Very impressive game last week, and hopefully does get quite a long time out there on the field. Then Shannon Frizzell at number 6, Sam Kane number 7, and Artie Savia does slot in at number 8. Now, him versus Pablo Matera last week, we didn't see them go head-to-head too often, but I think we're going to see it a little bit more, definitely in wet conditions. Maybe we do see those two guys just absolutely going at it. Then the back line, Aaron Smith and Richie Mwanga, the combination that they went with last week and the week prior up against the Springboks. The All Blacks have decided to stick with that one. David Arvili at number 12, Rico Ioane at 13. Explosive midfield combo that certainly, when they are given space, can create perfect opportunities for the ABs. Caleb Clark, Will Jordan still at 14. I know that's one that a lot of people want to see him transition to that 15 jersey eventually, but for now, the All Blacks have gone with 14 and then number 15. Close out the starting lineup. It will be Geordie Barrett. We have got morning, Hamish, says Darren Smith. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Who are you backing up for this game, says NBA Edits. To be honest, if it wasn't raining flat out, I would say the Pumas, once again, just because they seem to have so much more in their tank and so much more in their arsenal last week compared to the All Blacks. The All Blacks, they were making mistakes with the ball in hand. They were also giving away a huge amount of penalties, which can cost you up against a side like Argentina. As we know, their kicking has been tremendous this year with Emiliano Boffelli. Wallabies will win also, says John. And what does Roger Tuivasa-Sheck have to do to get game time? Says Ollie, yeah, he had a very good debut for Auckland in the Bunnings NBC last week. We thought that maybe this week was the time that they would decide to unleash RTS, and they decided, nah, we're all right. We'll go with the exact same. I hope the ABs don't make any mistakes. I hope they learn from last week, says Kevin. Yeah, because last week there were a huge amount of errors, and I think similar to what we saw in Springboks versus Wallabies, a lot of players who you wouldn't expect to make those little mistakes were making plenty of them which does certainly cost your ABs a stuff, says Isaac. And their ABs to win by 10 or more, but Foz must go, says Orlando. Although if they win by 10 or more, you'd have to say maybe he secures his job. It's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment. A lot of people want to see the All Blacks win, but they also want to see Ian Foster gone. So it's almost you can't have it both ways for the current ABs, because I know that World Rugby, I don't know, it's getting a bit of a shake-up at the moment with the order of the rankings, and we'll definitely beat them this time if they are playing in the rain. Hamish says Bob there. An evening, Hamish. Work finished. Am I late, says Spider-Meek? You are certainly not. There is 30 minutes till the game does kick off between the Pumas and the All Blacks. And Pumas are inconsistent, says John. They can be, but at the moment, I would say they're the most informed team in the Rugby Championship, which is a bold call. But when you look at the way that some of these sides have been building throughout the Rugby Championship, in fact, while we're at it, we might as well put the Pumas up on the screen so you guys can see exactly who will be out for them. But the big thing is for the Springboks, they had a big win, then they had the loss to the ABs that put them right back down, and then they've had the loss to Australia, which puts them down a little bit further. You look at Australia, they had the win over Argentina, loss against Argentina, and a win against the Springboks. They're almost building a little bit of an M at the moment. New Zealand, we saw them lose their first game, win their next one, go down, whereas the Pumas, they lost their first one, but then they've gone up, and then they've gone up again. 2 wins in a row. The only side at the moment in the Rugby Championship for round 2 and 3 to have 2 wins. So it is pretty massive for Los Pumas, and they will certainly be wanting to make the most of it. But this is the lineup that they have gone with. Thomas Gallo in the front row alongside Huria Montoya and Joel Scalavi. So the same as what they did have last week in Christchurch. Then Guido Petti makes his way into the starting lineup at number 4, and Thomas Lavanini, the aggressive Argentine lock, there at number 5. Santiago Grondona, I think, was one of the most surprising aspects in the starting lineup, because Juan Maton Gonzalez, he is an absolute tank at number 6. He has been playing tremendously, but instead the Pumas decided to go off the bench with Juan Maton Gonzalez. Marcos Crema at number 7, then at number 8, the big man Pablo Matera. Now, it's not so much of a home field advantage for Matera in this game. Of course, playing for the Crusaders throughout the Super Rugby competition, now heads up north to FMG Stadium in Waikato. Then at number 9, they have made the change. It will be Thomas Kubeli does slot in there at number 9. And then number 10, still, there's Santiago Carreras. Looking at the midfield, it is the Matthias Orlando and Matthias Maroni. They worked very well together last week, and I don't expect anything different for this week's game. Santiago Cordero gets the starting lineup spot rather than Lucio Cinti. Emiliano Boffelli was able to get himself 20 points last week. He will be on the right wing, and Juan Cruz Malia slots in at number 15. What does Peter Feta have to do to get game time? I guess probably go overseas. To be fair, I think the All Blacks are really going to underutilise him, and he might as well go over in Japan or France, make a whole heap of money, and pretty much show the ABs what they're missing out on, because he's a class player, but giving him 40 seconds is very disrespectful, I think. And my score 25-15, and welcome to Black Cats. Good luck, boys. All the best, boys, says Mary there. And also New Zealand to lose the Bledisloe. I think at this stage, because it's only a 2-match series, all they need is they just need 1 win pretty much for that series to be able to hang on to it. I can see them drawing the Bledisloe series with Australia going 1-1, but to lose 2 in a row for the All Blacks before now would be unheard of. Now it's like, oh yeah, that's a regular occurrence. We saw them have that up against the Irish. Maybe we see them have it up against Argentina in this game as well. I wonder what the weather is. What's it like in Argentina at the moment? Is it quite humid? Because this is definitely bucketing down here at FMG Stadium, getting a nice little taste of a New Zealand September. And 32 All Blacks, 10 Argentina, as long as we don't lose as much as Aussie did, says Hex there. And yeah, that was a record margin, didn't it? Or wasn't it? And did you see the cricket Zimbabwe beat Australia? I did. Saw that Warner had a good knock for the Aussies, and then that was about it. Really, I think only one other player made it to double figures. Do you think Roger Tuivasa-Sheck should go overseas or not? To be honest, if anyone wants him overseas, I can see him doing something similar to Ngāti Laumape, because at the end of the day, Laumape described it perfectly. He said, as much as people like to give me stick for going overseas, I wasn't getting opportunities for the All Blacks. They didn't renew my contract. I got a family to feed, and, you know, he's in very good form. So he would be a useful player for the All Blacks at number 12. But for now, they seem to be going Havili and Tupaia. I want to say once Goodhue comes back as well and Leonard Brown, maybe Roger Tuivasa-Sheck does get lost in that huddle. So maybe just goes overseas as well. Will you be covering South Africa versus Australia later? We certainly will. What does the coach have to do to get the sack? Says Brett. Unfortunately for him at the moment, it's resign. But he don't want to. He's making some big money at the moment. He's locked into a contract. They signed him up for after the 2023 World Cup or till that World Cup. So at the moment, unless they pay him out, he'll be happy as all. I was going to say a different saying, but I realized that would be not the best one to use. I was going to say something about pig playing in mud, but not referring to Ian Foster, just because I know that that's like happy as a pig in something, you know? And will we see Carrera slot in outside of 10? Albanoz is hard done. He became an unused sub most of the time, says Contender. And that's the thing with Santiago Carreras, no matter where he is on the field, he seems to be able to have an impact. We did see him in that situation last year for the Rugby Championship. He had to play fullback, right wing, left wing, and fly half, I believe, were all the positions that he sloted into. And he played them all very well. He just seems to be a very useful utility back. And also what's happening in the field right now, says Strike, still same as what was happening about 7 minutes ago. The players are still warming up. The kickers are taking their practice kicks, making sure that they line it up nicely, striking the ball sweetly as we make our way closer and closer to the kickoff. Are you going to over the ODIs or are you going to cover the ODIs between New Zealand and Australia? I would quite like to be able to. And also I've always wondered what happened in Queer Eye for the straight guy, if they went back to the car. Only to find it stolen, says William Double J. I have no idea what you're talking about, mate. And also when the next Rugby 22 vid, says Cole Games. I haven't actually played that game since it came out. Or maybe we get an All Blacks career mode going on that one. But these are the benches that we have got now. New Zealand, Dane Coles added into the lineup rather than Cody Taylor. George Bauer and Fletcher Newell, they have stuck with that Crusaders propping duo. Then Brody Metallic returns at number 19. Number 20, Dalton Papali'i gets an opportunity, and I hope they do give him more than a couple minutes, so he could be another player that we do see heading overseas. Finley Christie at number 21, Bowden Barrett 22 returns after his injury midweek last week, and then Quintupaya at number 23. Then Argentina, it is going to be Soquino, Rivas, and Bello as the front row. Matthias Alemano, he was in the starting lineup last week, but now he is going to be missing for that starting lineup, but instead gets to come off the bench. Same with Juan Matan Gonzalez, and also same with Berth Rano. When we look through, then it is going to be Ura Paleta at number 22, a new name in the Pumas lineup, and then Lucio Cinti there at number 23. And the try scorer is on the bench for Argentina, says Hanoi. I believe you are talking about Juan Matan Gonzalez. And yeah, he's been a very dangerous player for Argentina this year. He seems like he's getting better and better and has a huge amount of potential heading into that Rugby World Cup 2023. I hope no cards for the ABs. Must be intelligent and be on fire. And also how much longer now, says NBA Edits. Currently, they have got about 20 minutes until this game does kick off. But we've got a few stats to look through. And I did actually find some interesting ones on the Super Rugby and Rugby Championship website, including these ones here. These are a little bit more of a breakdown of what we've seen from New Zealand and Argentina for this one. So as you can see, the conversion rate for the All Blacks hasn't been absolutely tremendous. Same with penalty goals and kicking, but the penalties conceded, they have given away 38 with 2 yellow cards. Their most successful aspect of the game has been their rucks one, winning 93.8%. They've beaten 57 defenders, and they have had an average gain of 6.7, so normally pretty decent when they get that front foot going forward. That is throughout all of their games of the Rugby Championship, I should mention, rather than just last week up against the Pumas. But now, remembering those stats that we have just seen, we look through at the Pumas. They have given away 35 penalties, so less having that yellow card in one of their games up against the Australians. They have had an average gain of 6.3, which is actually very good for the Pumas. We need to remember this is a side that don't normally get a huge amount of possession throughout a game. They normally have to make a lot of tackles, but they are making the most of it when they do get that ball in hand. They've got a brilliant ruck, a very good line out, and their scrum success is relatively high. And also their penalty kicking from Emiliano Boffelli has been about as good as any kicker throughout the Rugby Championship. But the stipulations have been set. This is the way that the table does sit currently. And we're playing in Foz and Sam Caton's home ground. That's very true. And Will Jordan, first try scorer, says Kevin, yeah, I hope he gets the ball a little bit more than we did see last week and the weeks before, because unfortunately just doesn't really get utilised on their right wing side. Say bye-bye to the Bledisloe Cup and bye a World Cup. Says Spider-Meg and New Zealand Rugby Union should pay our black firm more money than wasted on the loser ABs, says Spider-Meg. And of course, with the World Cup coming up just around the corner, who knows what is next for the Black Ferns and when's the next Rugby Challenge forward, says Ollie. Hopefully at some stage soon. Me and George were planning a bit of a series, but we haven't quite got around to filming it as of yet. So it might be coming up in the next few weeks, but there is also a chance that it could be a lot longer than the next few weeks till we do get to see some more Rugby Challenge. I wish they would fix the game, but they have decided they would rather work on the next game than fix an already broken product. But we have got what happens if Savia goes down. Will Kane play 8 like McCaw did at some point? The good thing about Kane's injury was we could try more 7s. Kane is too specialised, play him at 8 without Savia there, says Contender. I would think if they do end up with the injury of Ardie Savia, more than likely we'll see maybe Frizzell move to 8 and Dalton Papali getting himself to number 6. And you're collecting Stat Attack Weekbook cards. I have got a few of them around at the moment. The only problem is they always put the same ones in the same boxes. So every time you open a box, you have at least 2 of the same card, which is a little bit annoying. I guess you could say good morning. I think it's going to be a great match today. Yeah, with the rain added in as a little bit of a deciding factor, maybe it is going to be relatively close, but the Pumas currently making their way back to the changing sheds. They've had their warm-ups. Pablo Matera's looking happy as he's ever been. Marcos Crema's looking as angry as he's ever been, which is very hard to do because that man is a very scary individual. But these are the next week and the week after, I should mention, fixtures for the Rugby Championship for where we are going to be heading from here. Australia and New Zealand. That is the first game of the Bledisloe Cup. And also really early in the morning, 7:10 a.m., it will be Argentina taking on South Africa. Then New Zealand, they will be playing Australia on the 24th of September. And then in the Sunday, 25th of September, it is South Africa versus Argentina. And also the worst rugby championship I've seen. Please win at Argentina. Kiwi refs are ruining it. Hope we move to the Six Nations soon, says Xbox. So I assume straight away, even without knowing, although I already know, that would be from a South African perspective due to that game with Paul Williams when he did referee. Although it's going to be interesting because if it is an even refereeing game between Argentina and the All Blacks and also South Africa versus New Zealand, I'm wondering how much referee blame we are going to get to see this week compared to previous weeks where we have seen quite a lot. And no way will the ABs lose. The consequences will be too dire, says Warren. And yeah, the thing is, if they do get it wrong, there is certainly the potential for the Pumas to be able to win. This is not the same Pumas we have seen from past years. They are looking hungry. They are looking like they're willing to dig deep and go to those dark corners of the field if they need to. Pablo Matera, Marcos Crema, the big men are going to be linking up for the Argentines, and it is going to be absolutely awesome. See how they do end up going. We've got a few other stats, ladies and gentlemen, that we could look through. First of all, we will be looking at the leading try scorers and the way that it sits. As you can see, 2 forwards. In fact, when you look down this list, there's a lot of forwards making their way into the leading try scorers list. Juan Matan Gonzalez, he is going to be coming off the bench instead of starting. Fraser McWright, he is in the starting lineup for the Australians. Thomas Gallo, Lena Cattell, Samasoni Takiaho, Quacha Smith, Pablo Matera, Juan Emoff, Geronimo de la Fuente, and Emiliano Buffelli is all the names they've got on this list. Of course, there are a few other players who have scored themselves to 1 tries. Marika Korombetti comes to mind as a player who will be playing in the later game. And also a couple other Kiwis have found themselves getting over the line just the once as well. Hi, Sue from Auckland, says John Martin. Welcome in. Discipline All Blacks is the key tonight. Rain could be a factor. As an Irish fan, want New Zealand to win here. And also, who you got winner, mate, says goal games. With the rain, I'd say it gives the All Blacks just a little bit more of an advantage because the last few weeks, it's been when they've tried to play that slightly unorthodox wide passing of the ball and everything along those lines that they have been making the mistakes. I think if they keep it simple here, they could have a lot better chance of being able to go far in the comp. Also looking through at tackles, being one, as you can see, Marcos Crema, Thomas Lavanini, also Julio Montoya and Pablo Matera. The Argentines are leading and dominating in the tackling stats at the moment. You see there's only 2 Kiwis on that list, one of which is Sam Cane. Probably a little bit of a surprise to everyone that he does average 10 tackles per match. And Ardie Savia, he has only averaged just about the 8 for the matches that we have seen so far. But do let me know your score predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Irish want New Zealand to win, to give meaning to their wins, says Esbug there, and I am, and everyone says, William, hope you are doing very well today. And hope you are excited. And keep it up, mate. You're doing great. Says Cole there. I do appreciate that a lot. And Va'ai, Tupai, and Ross should have been given a start because it's their home ground. Tupai is lucky to have 23 hard days for Va'ai and Ross. Not even making the 23, says Kotenda. Yeah, I predicted in my All Blacks prediction, I thought we were going to see Aiden Ross get the opportunity, but he did end up missing out. And also, who's the front three, Hamish? Says Spider-Mix. So for New Zealand, they have gone with Ethan de Groot, Samasoni Takiaho, and then on the other side, it is going to be Tyrell Lomax. Then for the other side of things, for the Argentines, it is Thomas Gallo, Julio Montoya, and also Joel Scalavi, I should say. And number 7 should have the most tackles, says Tony, in there. And I think it's absolutely outrageous how Cullen Grace is not in this ABs, says Kukuku. And the sad thing is, now Cullen Grace, after his last game of the Bunnings NBC, now has a broken collarbone. So there's a chance that we might not even see him for the November tour if he did have half a chance of being able to make his way forward. And hey, Nathan and Obi, and last game New Zealand lost to a junior ref. This freaks out New Zealand rugby culture. They will manipulate World Rugby, make sure a loss never happens again, says Hamish. I actually think the referee last week did very well. I think he was straight down the middle. I think no matter what the result is currently in the state of rugby, there's always going to be one decision that people don't agree with, and they will end up blaming the whole game on one decision type thing, if that makes sense. And when it starts, says Abel A, we have currently got less than 15 minutes till these two sides make their way out into the park. But at the moment, they have got a hype package for the ABs. I'm hoping they do manage to deliver. Another player who's probably pretty unlucky to be in there is going to be Sevu Reece, missing from it. And also, have you tried McCain pub style frozen meal bangers and mash? I have not. I've tried their fries though. They're all right. And Nathan reversed that score, says Buttermeg. And also, hey, my guy Marco says, Nathan, a lot of Cookie ABs fans are easy. Don't call off Pumas, says QQQ. That's the thing. The Pumas heading into the Rugby Championship, I think we're the dark horses of the competition. A lot of people said it was going to be South Africa or it was going to be New Zealand at the top. And now what we've seen after 3 rounds is New Zealand and South Africa sitting at the bottom of the bunch. Australia, they have got a lot of potential. If they can get themselves the victory over the Springboks today, that will certainly help their confidence heading into the Bledisloe Cup games. But the big thing is going to be they need to make sure that if they get themselves in the lead, Australia, they need to keep it, because South Africa, they will certainly be coming out there packing a punch with a whole heap of changes in their lineup. And Makiki Fries, bro, I got to try those. Says Marco Vodapola, and also the AB's 46 to the 12 with the Pumas. Says it didn't and sounding good and looking great. Amish says it William. And as I do appreciate it, of course, with the big match, we got to wear the big match suit. And that is exactly what we have got. But looking through at a few of the other stats that we have been able to find for these contests, we will actually look through at a bit of the general statistics for all of the sides. Looking through at the tries, and as you can see, New Zealand and South Africa are actually sitting down the bottom of this bunch as well. That is actually the order of tries scored is the order that the Rugby Championship table does sit currently. So I guess if you want to be near the top of the competition, you've got to score tries, which is something that Argentina and Australia have both shown they're very capable of being able to do. The clean breaks goes the way of South Africa, although one man who had the most clean breaks, Lucanio is now injured for the rest of the Rugby Championship. Same with Hongre Pollard. So that could be a massive hit for the Springboks heading forward. New Zealand with the least clean breaks. Argentina having one more with 13. Then a couple other stats to quickly look through before the two sides make their way out onto the park. New Zealand have had the most meters carried. Same with South Africa. Now, that is an interesting stat because, like I mentioned just before, these two sides at the top of the meters carried have had the least amount of tries scored. It's an interesting way that it does end up shaping up. Same with Argentina, the least defenders beaten, but the most tries scored in the competitions. They've got the best line out by far with Lavanini, and now Guido Petti is going to be in there as well. And Australia only having 78% of their lineouts being won so far throughout the Rugby Championship. Then looking through at the offloads, New Zealand, they love to keep the ball alive, whereas we see a little bit more of structure from the Argentines. And we have what's got there. Cheers, guys. Ian here. Looking great. Irish. Hopefully the boys can put this together tonight. Cheers, Ian, out. And then also the box 37-12 at 1:53 a.m. Saturday morning in Arkansas. What time is kickoff, Amish? New Zealand time, drinking coffee to stay up. So it is 10 minutes time, 7:05 p.m. And then the game that has taken place between the Springboks and the Wallabies, that will be kicking off a little bit later on at 9:35, but more than likely it is going to be 9:45. more than likely, because they are always behind for that one. And also we have got there and self-serve area, says Nathan. I'm not too sure what that was for. I was shooting for something earlier on in the chat, but now looking at the rucks one, Argentina at the top alongside New Zealand. I don't see too many counter-attacking opportunities for both of these sides when it comes to the ruck, whereas someone who's been very strong in that aspect is Peter Steph Toy, also unavailable for this match. We'll go with a random one, lineouts one. As you can see, Alemano at the top. He's been taken out of the starting lineup, though, so maybe that can have quite the impact on the Argentines. Ebenetzebev doing very well. Same with Sam Whitelock. Then also 1 more meters carried. Caleb Clark at the top of the bunch, and he needs to make sure that he's having plenty of meters carried throughout this match up against the Pumas. Also near the top, Rico Ioane, Ardi Savia is there, and Will Jordan. No Pumas in those meters carried, but we have had a Puma, like I mentioned earlier on, Juan Matan Gonzalez sitting at the top of the bunch. For try scorers, a nice sunny day in South Africa, which is pretty much the opposite of what we have seen for this game at FMG Stadium. It is absolutely pouring down. I'm hoping it starts to get a little bit lighter, getting closer to the end of the match. I met Damian McKenzie, Geordie Barrett, and Will Jordan on Wednesday, says Ollie there. That's pretty awesome. So I guess you are in the Waikato region, but looking through at the starting lineup and reserves for both of these teams. New Zealand are the first side that we will be looking through, as they are the home side. Ethan de Groot, Samasoni Takiaho, and Tyrell Lomax as the front row. The New Zealand lineout was actually pretty effective last week until they decided to make the change and take Takiaho out of it. Then Sam Whitelock and Scott Barrett, the two Crusaders, slotting in as the locks. Shannon Frizzell, Sam Kane, and Ardi Savia, unchanged from last week. They are going to be an effective trio, I would think, throughout this match. Then Aaron Smith and Richie Mo'unga sticking with that same combination as they have done the last 2 weeks. David Arveli and Rico Ioane, an explosive midfield combo. And if they can free up Rico Ioane on the outside, he is about as quick as any man out there on the park. Caleb Clark, he'd love to have a foot race with him, though. I would be thinking Will Jordan out on the right wing, hopefully going to touch the ball a little bit more than he did last time. And then it will be Geordie Barrett at number 15. That is the starting lineup for the All Blacks. Now we look through at the Pumas, the challengers, and they have got a strong lineup as well. Thomas Gallo, Julio Montoya, and Joel Scalavi there at number 3. Now, Thomas Gallo picking up the 2 tries in their monumental win for the Pumas over the Wallabies. Would be loving just the one in this match, I'm sure. Guido Petti moves into the starting lineup. Thomas Lavanini there at number 5. Santiago Grondona, a big change to have in that loose boy trio, taking Juan Matan Gonzalez out of that starting lineup. Instead, he finds himself on the bench. A very aggressive number 7 here, Marcos Crema and Pablo Matera there at number 8. Then Thomas Kubeli at number 9, moving into the starting lineup rather than Gonzalo Bertrano. Santiago Carreras there at number 10. Then Matthias Orlando and Matthias Moroni there as the midfield combo. That is due to Geronimo de la Fuente not traveling with the squad. Santiago Cordero gets that starting lineup spot at number 11. Emiliano Boffelli, 20 points last week, will be looking to add to his point tally. And then Juan Cruz Malia. No, Juan, what's the middle part? Is it Juan Cruz? Yeah, it is. Juan Cruz Malia there at number 15. I forgot his middle part of his name for half a second there. But looking through at the benches, then we will be looking at the chat just before we make our way into the match. Dane Coles at number 16, George Bauer 17, and Fletcher Null number 18. So no real changes in the propping department, but Dane Coles makes his way in rather than Cody Taylor. Brody Retallick at number 19, Dalton Papali'i as the number 20. So 2 returns for the All Blacks. We haven't seen Dalton Papali'i for the last few weeks. Brody Retallick, it's been a bit longer since he did end up getting that big shot from Andrew Porter throughout the earlier stages of the year. Finley Christie, Bowden Barrett, quite a few Blues coming off the bench for this game. And then Quinta Bayer there at number 23. Then Argentina, it is going to be Soquino, Vivas, and Bello at number 18, Alemano. Then also it is Juan Matan Gonzalez. And there's Berrano at number 21, Uda Paleta at 22, and Lucio Cinti. And there's can't lose, says Murray. And also we have got there, they have to click, says Murray Gallagher. Exactly right. They do need to make sure that they do manage to get it right. Or if they don't manage to get it right, we could certainly see some Argentines running themselves in a few tries for this match as well. But we are currently listening to the Argentine national anthem. And also we have got there, Spittle Spittle everywhere, says Fluffy. in there. Yeah, currently still raining there in FMG Stadium. It's going to be an interesting one to see how it does end up going for these two sides, whether we see a bit more of a kicking game early on or whether it does start to become a running game of rugby. It looks like the rain is slightly lighter than it was earlier on, though, which is promising as it was very, very wet before kickoff. And when is kickoff? And there says John, currently we are only 5 minutes away. We've got the New Zealand national anthem, then we've got the haka, and then it will be this match underway for the second time between these two sides. And it seems like nobody risks a result. And numbers, New Zealand versus Argentina. And there says Sony W. And Kapai says Nathan in there as well. But do let me know who you guys think will be the first try scorer of this contest. Could it be an Argentinian player? Will it be an All Black? What number will they have on their back? And also, don't cry for me, Justin Marshall says Fluffy. And gotta love the Argentinians, if that makes sense. Been mentioned before, but so passionate, says Nazi Williams. Exactly right. They will go out there and throw absolutely everything at the All Blacks. And if the All Blacks don't want it bad enough, I think they're going to definitely have a big problem with Argentina in this match, just like they did last week. And also, I wonder what haka, hopefully Kapaopanga, although it doesn't seem to matter for the ABs at the moment, whether they do Kapaopanga, whether it's Kamate. They don't seem like they're going out there to win. They're going out there to try and find that form that just hasn't quite been able to get to them this year for the Rugby Championship. The trust is I never left you in there as well, says Fluffy. Interesting. I see the song lyric quote next to it. And also we have got our heck rare. Well, what's good girl, says Nathan in there as well. But we see Sam Cane. He's going to have a massive game for the ABs. Bowden Barrett off the bench. He has a brilliant record up against the Springboks off the bench. Doesn't actually have too many losses in his last few. And Aaron Smith certainly going to have to try and propel this side forward at times when it may seem like they're on the back foot, and they should do a poi in there, or poi, I think there's in a Heartland Rugby. Yeah, Buller beat Poverty Bay 46-23, says Kevin, but the haka is just about upon us. Caleb Clark's got tears in the eyes, and that's something we want to see from the All Blacks, to be fair. We want to see someone who's fired up enough to try and change the game. It seems like it could be Caleb Clark, who is the player to be able to do so. And got to go watch, says Murray there. Now the sides, they cross paths. They were standing on the wrong sides of the field. And now the haka is just around the corner. Quintapai going to be coming off the bench. Shannon Frizzell in the starting lineup, both looking eagle-eyed, locked in, ready to go for this match. But Sam Caney's going to be at the front. Rico Ioane to one side and Artie Savia to his other. And also, although my wild days, my mad existence, or all through my wild days, my mad existence, and don't tell me the front rows are all Chiefs, same as she's Spider Meek, they actually haven't got a single Chief in that. Oh, no, sorry, Samasoni Takiao is in there. Rather than any of the other options, though, they have gone with Ethan de Groot, the Southlander, and then at number 3, they have gone with Tyrell Lomax. Yeah, Caleb Clark's just shouting during the haka. He's fired up. The thing is, he's got to make sure he controls it as soon as he goes out into the field, though. Because if he charges full steam at someone, forgets to duck down, this man could get red carded very quickly. Pablo's still smiling, though. He's loving it, being back on New Zealand soil for this one. And also Kamate, says Anazi Williams. But now only minutes away, in fact, only seconds away from this first match of the Rugby Championship for round 4 to get underway. Argentina, as we currently sit, we will show the table before this match. And Argentina are at the top of the bunch on the 9 points. Their points differential is plus 23, whereas Australia, they are sitting also on the 9 points, but their points differential is a lot less, sitting at -8. Then New Zealand, they're 3rd, and South Africa, they're in 4th. So there could be quite a bit of changes throughout this one, perhaps. And also we have got hi Hamish from David the Mole. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well in Argentina from Sakiasi. Hopefully I've got that right. And also, hello, Hamish. To be honest, I have about as much confidence in the All Blacks winning, about as much as I did the New Zealand Warriors winning today, says John. The referee in charge, it will be Nick Berry, charge of this one. The Georgian referee who was in charge of the last game will be one of the assistants, and Jordan Way on the other side. And then the Irish TMO will be the 4th man in charge. So Nick Berry will be excited for this game, I would think. We'll have to wait and see how it does end up going. The Argentines, they are in their huddle. They are locked in and ready to go out there and perhaps create a little bit more history for Los Pumas. Also, Big Brody and T-Rex, let's go And there's, oh yeah, it's going to be awesome seeing Big Brody Retallick back in action. The countdown has started. And now, FMG Stadium. The whistle is blown and we are ready to rumble for another match of the Rugby Championship. It will be Richie Mo'unga who does kick it off for the All Blacks, going long into the Argentine 22, taken nicely by Pablo Matera, who hits a hard at De Groot and Lomax. Driven down inside of his own 22. It might be the opportunity for Argentina to go for the kick. Oh, it's going to be dropped by Lavanini, though. And that is a big mistake early on. Now the All Blacks, they've got the counter-attack inside of the 22. Adi Savia trying to find a gap through. He's dragged down by the man who did drop that ball, Thomas Lavanini. Around the side, it is Samasone Takiaho. But a massive mistake early from the Pumas may just cost them within the first minute of this contest. Smith, short ball off to Lomax. There's another advantage in favour of the All Blacks. This time a penalty advantage rather than one for the knock-on. Takiaho goes round the side. Lavanini able to make the tackle on him. Now Smith back to Sam Whitelock. Moving up to 5 metres out now. Smith goes back into the pocket for Richie Mo'unga. Geordie Barrett short ball to Rico Ioane. Wasn't able to find the offload. Now he gives it up. Now it is Richie Mo'unga dragged down by Santiago Grondona. Seems like both of these sides going to be playing it at a frantic pace. That was great work in the end by Matthias Maroni, who wants to get the ball off Aaron Smith, and Aaron Smith doesn't want to give the ball back. So now it's going back for the penalty to Argentina. Also try. Says David too soon. And New Zealand 52 and also 18 for the Pumas, says Greg. And dang it, David, says Grau. And also easy 3 points, says John. Yeah, straight out in front of the post. You would think that the All Blacks would want to take on the points early. And Morning Amish just joined now. Go the ABs, says Moritz. And there as well, Thomas Lavanini did end up initially knocking that ball on. They are going to be going for the 3 points. So they will be leading for this match, which is something we didn't actually get to see too often throughout the game up against Argentina last week. But Lavanini, it was interesting to go for an extra carry there while they were inside of their 22. Maybe the putting it back into the pocket to Carreras might have been the better choice for Los Pumas there. Now, I think Richie Mo'unga will be able to add those points in. And I'm just surprised it took 3 decades of professional rugby era to reach a rough parity among the major nations. ABs did extremely well. Stay on top so long, no shame, says Bijou there as well. And I have to say, looking at how close all the sides are becoming, it just builds more and more excitement for the Rugby World Cup. At the moment, there are probably 8 teams or so that could have a chance of winning their Rugby World Cup in 2023. Definitely if we keep on seeing the development of some of these other nations. The rain is falling, but Richie Mo'unga has been able to get that kick over. It becomes 3-0 now for the New Zealanders. And also AB's looking good, says Polly Bear. Yeah, the mistake from Thomas Lavanini eventually led to the All Blacks being able to use that attack. They attacked for a minute and a half. And now Lavanini, a bit disappointed with that one. You would think he's a passionate bloke, so he's probably going to go take someone's head off in the next few minutes as well. But it will be Carreras kicking off this one for Los Pumas. Puts it up high. Waiting for it to come down. It's going to be a bit loose. Emiliano Boffelli has knocked that ball on, but the All Blacks, they all looked at each other, waiting for someone to call for it, and no one did in the end. Now it's going to be still on the side of the All Blacks. They go short side off to Adi Savia with a nice step. It's wrestled down by Thomas Kubeli, a man who we did see at the Western Force for 2021. 2022, though, I believe he did head to France. Now inside of their own 22 here for the All Blacks. It looks like Aaron Smith will be rolling it back. And now going to be putting up the first box kick we have seen for the match. Now going down to Emiliano Boffelli. Rush defense from Clark, but he hasn't been able to line him up. Juan Cruz Malia goes down nicely. 35 out now, and the Pumas have got the attack. Kubeli going back to Matera. Tackled by Sam Kane, driven backwards in the process. Kubeli once again recycled quickly by the Pumas. Now, I mentioned that they are one of the sides who have the least amount of defenders beaten throughout the competition. That's a little knock on the ground, though, from Marcos Kremer. And the All Blacks will now have the scrum. And also we have got their ref. We'll make sure New Zealand wins, says John. I mean, he's an Australian, though, so I would think, if anything, the referee, if there was any type of corruption, which I know a lot of people want to say that there is, but if there was any, you would think you want the Pumas to win, so that not just Australia have a better chance of winning the Rugby Championship, but also a better chance of winning the Bledisloe. So I think the logic's a little bit off there, John, but I know you're Australian. So maybe, thinking with the heart, not the head for that one. And hello once again, says Dark Scar Flame. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Pumas is called as Argentina. They are indeed Los Pumas And that all comes from the logo as well. When you do look at the Argentine logo, it is a little Puma, and they certainly play as passionately as a Puma would. And Angus Gardner relegated to club rugby final, says Hanoi there, fed in by the All Blacks, now 45 metres out, and they are going to have to use it. There's Nick Berry. It's gone back into the pocket. Richie Mo'unga now gives it a boot downfield. Found a little bit of open space, but it bounces for Emiliano Boffelli. Now, this man's got a massive boot, and he's gone for the spiral kick. It's going to go just into touch, and Geordie Barrett decides against taking the quick line out. And I'm great, thank you, says Dark Scar Flame. And good, says Refian. And there, and Pumas go 70. Upfield pressure off, says Shane Newton. And also Argentina called UAR in there as well. Now, it's going to be nicely thrown in by Samasoni Takiao, who's really been working on his lineouts this year since Super Rugby. Now, it's going to be Mo'unga off to Barrett. He's got Will Jordan on his outside. He finds the flick pass, but it wasn't quite on at that time. And now it's going back for the knock-on advantage against Will Jordan. Geordie Barrett maybe hung onto that ball a little bit too long in that situation. And Aaron Smith is too static and predictable. Says Shane Dan Hamish, are you confident that the All Blacks can beat Argentina, which is not as good in rugby? Says Coding, I mean, there's a chance. I see all of my parents are all walking into the room. I feel like something's going on. Everyone's just huddling. What's up? No? It won't work. Oh, okay, so they're all standing around. Do you want me to rotate it a bit? There you go. I was wondering why everyone was walking into the lounge. I felt like something might have happened. Will Jordan dropping that ball. Now Thomas Kubeli about to feed this ball in for the Argentines. Still looks like the rain is falling at FMG Stadium and Vamos Los Pumas. And should Geordie be 13 instead of Rico? And there says Hanoi, I think he'd be more suited to inside centre if you were going to put him anywhere in that midfield combo. Pablo Matera runs off the back. Nice short pass off to Matthias Orlando there. It's going to be a little knock-on the ground, I believe, but they are going to say play on just for now. Lavanini. Is it off Sam Whitelock trying to get that counter-ruck going back into the pocket, and now Santiago Carreras does put the ball up high. Waiting for this one. Geordie Barrett takes a nicely flat pass. Cross to Will Jordan trying to find some space in the middle of the park. New Zealand have got this ball 35 metres out from the line. Whitelock now across. Big shot on Thomas Gallo's throat almost. Chibawonga puts it high. Goes up, must come down, and it's going to be a good one to contend for. Carreras unable to take it, and now Richie Mo'unga with the advantage of the ABs. Geordie Barrett puts the boot through on the left. It's going to be skidding through to the 22. And now Juan Cruz Malia gives it a big boot downfield. And it is now going to be David Havili. He's got a long boot as well, just like Emiliano Boffelli. Gives it a strike and does manage to find the touchline about 40 metres out from Los Pumas lines. And also we have got there, they walked in because they think he's onto something, says Nazi Williams. And also Vamos Los Pumas and Vamos Argentina. And there, and by the way, where is your donation collection for your KFC dinner tonight? Says, oh, that's too big from Argentina. That one has gone dead, and that is a massive mistake from the Pumas, as that is going to be back, I would say, about 60 metres. They are going to have to walk back for it. And free feed at the South Dunedin KFC tonight. Just telling Fluffy sent you, says Fluffy, and also Whitelock with USC forearm to the face. And hey, Stephen says Cooper Cronk. And there as well. But Caleb Clark, he decided to let that one keep rolling, and keep rolling it did. And now the All Blacks have got a scrum about 38 metres out from Los Pumas line. Good attacking opportunity here for the men in black. Nick Berry in charge of this contest. Like I mentioned, the Georgian referee, he is going to be one of the assistants with Jordan Way on the other side and an Irish TMO. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this game develops later on. We did see Ian Foster before the game talked about the fact that later on in the contest last week, the All Blacks, they had position, they had territory, but they weren't able to put it all together. And also Hanoi with the waving from Cooper Cronk there. Aaron Smith about to put the ball in for the ABs. They're trying to push this Pumas backwards, but they almost, it's going to be the advantage for the Pumas, having their feet slip out. Good attack and run from Richie Mo'unga. And also good work in the breakdown from Thomas Kubeli to put on the pressure. Scott Barrett now 30 metres out for the All Blacks with the advantage from scrum time. Tyrell Lomax tackled by Guido Petty. Another advantage. I believe that time it is for offside. Smith going to the right. Little chip in behind from David Havili. Will Jordan tries to glide for it. And Rico Ioane's been able to take it. It's another advantage. This time for a knock-on. Samasoni Takiao tries to straighten and bump his way straight through Matthias Maroni. Another advantage against Thomas Lavanini that time. Now Whitelock goes back to Rico Ioane, wrestling his way forward, almost through Thomas Gallo. Now good attack around the big man, De Groot. He's got it over. And the Southland-born boy is going to be able to run in the first try. Ethan De Groot at number 1. He's put up his antlers, or Aaron Smith was anyway. And Ethan De Groot does manage to get that try for the All Blacks. That is the first of the match. It was an initial good kick chase, I should say, from Will Jordan. That's England's stats from the cricket. That was a little while ago. But the try scorers for the All Blacks, Will Jordan got just enough onto that one, which meant that it bounced back for Rico Ioane, and Ethan De Groot from about 10 metres out. As soon as he felt he had half a chance, he just pinned the ears back, or pinned the antlers back, I guess you could say, for the Southlander. And he was going to be hard to stop. Matera made a great low tackle, but there was no one there to help support him in that tackle. And in slippery conditions, De Groot, he saw the line and he went over and was able to get the first try of the match for New Zealand. The thing is, I look at the odds for the matches, and Ethan De Groot to score the first try of either half was paying $21. So if anyone put that money on him, they were going to be rich for that one, because De Groot, he has scored the opening try of the match. And also, to mention the TAB odds, if you had him as the first try scorer of the match, you were probably looking at least $30 in your pocket as well. Ethan De Groot stretches out. Great try. And also close to a double movement. Says John, just Kiwi lads, keep this up for 80 minutes without a co-commentator. The first time here, respect, says Bijou. We certainly do. And not just the 80 minutes. We have also got Australia versus South Africa that we are going to be covering a little bit later on in the night. Shannon Frizzell now taking it inside of the 22. The All Blacks find themselves 10-0 up, though, in favour of the home side. Aaron Smith waiting for this one. Looks like a little bit of disruption there from Santiago Grondona, just trying to put a little bit of extra pressure on Smith. Get this ball rolled back. Lavanini waiting for his opportunity to charge it down now. Aaron Smith kicks it downfield. Does just fine touch. Caleb Clark and Emiliano Bolfelli, they embrace short, or for a short amount of time, I should say, right near the touchline. And De Groot says fluffy in there. And he has certainly been stepping up for the ABs. The man is only 24 years of age. He could have a World Cup in 2023 and a World Cup in 2027. And then also, do you plan to asking for donations for KFC tonight? Nah, I don't think we'll do the KFC donations tonight. We're on a slightly healthier month eating for September, myself and George. Although I did go to the pub, so I'm not sure how that would have gone. Artie Savia now driving his legs forward. Could have a salmon fund instead. That stuff's expensive, isn't it? Now it's going high. It's a good kicking. Oh, almost Will Jordan able to take it, but Sam Cane now is bumped forward. Argentina, it's going to be a foot race, and it just curves into touch. That was lucky because Santiago Cordero, I think, had the pace to outrun Richie Mwonga there. It does roll into touch, and it will be now the ball for the All Blacks. And also Subway then says, I guess Subway is a healthy alternative, isn't it? Although it depends on the bread you get. If you get the white bread, can sometimes add up in the old calories. Emiliano Bolfelli tackled by Geordie Barrett. Now short side looking open for the Argentines as they begin to build their phase after phase. We haven't actually seen them hit 5 phases throughout this contest as of yet. I'm not sure whether or not Tyrell Lomax is allowed to be where he was. It's going to be a little knock on, though, in the breakdown. And now the All Blacks have got themselves another scrum. So at the moment, you'd have to say the All Blacks are certainly coming out firing in the first 14 minutes of this game. Most expensive burger would have to be on Franz Malherbe's orders, says Marco Vanapola. Yeah, that man probably gets a few extra patties thrown in the mix. But most expensive KFC burger, probably just like a Zinger stacker burger or something like that, I guess. All of the burgers, though, at KFC are probably going to cost you over $10. Someone's got a love you dad sign in the crowd. And they actually, that's very smart. They have wrapped their sign in Glad wrap. Now, it's one of those things that a lot of people wouldn't think to do, but it shows that they're switched on, because at the end of the day, if you've got cardboard and it's out in the rain, straight away it's just going to become mush. You're going to have wheat bix by half time. So luckily, they got their Glad wrap out, and they have been able to preserve it for a bit longer. Of course, Father's Day just around the corner, as Aaron also Smith has donated for my health. Oh, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Going short side now. Aaron Smith passes off to Caleb Clark. He's bumped off. Thomas Kubeli bumping off 2 or 3 in a row. And that was Carreras, the last man. Oh, Aaron Smith. Has he knocked it on? No, it becomes a penalty for playing the ball. Pablo Materas saying, what did I do? The referee saying you hit the ball while it was in the breakdown. And All Blacks all the way. Have a nice and blessed day to all listeners from a beautiful spring day in South Africa, says Pete. And I should mention South Africa, they are going to be hosting that second test match that has taken place between Argentina and South Africa. And for anyone who doesn't know the dates of those contests, there we go. So we have got a week off next week. Then it is actually going to be a Thursday that the All Blacks end up playing Australia, which is a little bit interesting. I don't think we're too used to having a Thursday, but I've just realized if that game's on a Thursday, I might get a decent night's sleep on Saturday night for the 17th. But Aaron Smith was pretty happy with that one. The breakdown, it is still absolutely bucketing down at FMG Stadium, but I mentioned it before the match. I believe that actually benefits the All Blacks more than it benefits the Pumas, because they'll play a little bit more of a structured, less risky approach to this game. Now it's thrown in. Frizzell able to just get the slap back onto it, and Richie Mo'unga cleans up, breaking through the tackle of Pablo Matera. Good wrestle from Santiago Grondona, though. Now, Pumas trying to go for the counter-ruck, unable to get the ball turned over. Now, Sam Whitelock tackled hard by Lavanini. Adi Savia considered taking that one himself, but instead goes off to Simitoni Takiaho, who's been one of the standout players for New Zealand throughout the season. Sam Cane tackled on the 22. Now Smith goes off to the right. David Havili sold the dummy as if he was going to be going for the kick. Instead, Marcos Crema able to get him down, now 20 metres out for the All Blacks. Takiaho tackled by Galolo and straight over the ball. That's going to be the penalty. And it's none other than Crusaders local Pablo Matera. I want to see him back in New Zealand for next year's Super Rugby. I hope he signs with someone, because that man has brought such a presence to the New Zealand competition. I woke up late, glad to see the All Blacks back on their toes, says Debbie Rogers there. And also, we have got the rain has never suited New Zealand running rugby, says Cooper Cronk. Exactly, which is where it kind of helps them out, because if they were running, they'd probably be making a lot more mistakes, whereas they are going with those little bit less risky plays, which I think actually really benefits them. Whereas Argentina, they're a side that love to be able to get those quick little pop passes across in the forwards. But with slipperiness, we've already seen multiple times that it has gone a little bit wrong for the Pumas as well. Now, I actually came prepared, and I have a massive bottle of water, so this will be done by the end of it. I would think turnovers won throughout the Rugby Championship, though. Argentina with 29, I believe that said. Guido Petty does get the line out now off to Matthias Orlando. Oh, the ball came out the back. I think it hit someone's foot and bounced board, and the All Blacks have been able to turn it over. Now Richie Mo'unga from half does kick it downfield. Gives it off to, it will be out on that wing, Santiago Cordero rather than Lucio Cinti, who it was last week. Now David Havili trying to run his way through, but Argentina, they've got very good defence. They have got Michael Cheika in part to thanks for that. Sam Cane running it once again. I think this might be one of his busiest games that we see from Sam Cane, and it has to be really if he wants to keep a spot. They've got Dalton Papali'i off the bench, so if Sam Cane's not active, could find himself going off the field at halftime. But Argentina, they've got this ball now 45 metres out from their own line. Counter-ruck from Adi Savia, but it's still going to be bouncing up for Joel Scalavi. Doing nicely. Keep it just on the side of the Pumas. Now, we're seeing a lot more kicking from Argentina throughout the early stages of this contest compared to what we saw the last time that these two sides played. Scott Barrett unable to quite get onto it. Now it's going to be a loose ball, possibly, depending on how this one's taken. He's going to have to run backwards to try and line it up. But currently on the halfway line, Argentina still yet to find themselves a point on the board. Sam Whitelock, he did brilliantly, though, to be able to take that ball. Now Aaron Smith going back to the right. Richie Mo'unga, he's been cleaned up by Marcos Crema. Bouncing through. Will Jordan inside ball. Off now to Geordie Barrett. Was very silky skills from the winger for the ABs. Now Smith going across the wide lock. Done well to regather that one. Sam Cane back to Rico Ioane, who's trying to go through. Turning him inside out. Caleb Clark for the corner. And he's got another one. Scored last week. Scores again this week. And Caleb Clark does run himself in the try. So we will go Clark. He's been able to score that try in the 19th minute for the All Blacks. And that is some very nice work from Will Jordan and Richie Mo'unga. Crusaders linking up. Nice inside ball to Geordie Barrett. He was under pressure. And rather than risking throwing that offload, instead hung on to it for just a little bit longer. And to be fair to Rico Ioane here, I well and truly expected him not to pass that ball. Because at the end of the day, he holds on to it a lot more than he passes, but he has done a beautiful pass there, and it has led to the try, in which All Black only had a few minutes last week. I mean, the one that you're thinking of is Stephen Perofeta, and he had less than 1 minute, and now they've taken him out of the lineup, which is a big shame indeed. And All Blacks look pissed off. And she got a delay that scoreboard to update a tick. We saw the 5+ before you called it. Says Bijou there. So yeah, hopefully that's the thing. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow. It seems to be a bit of a lottery of what time it is going to be coming through. And also we have got a Rico learned how to pass the ball to his wing as well. Says Marco, nice strike from Moonga. That one's going over. And the All Blacks now are sitting 17-0 in favour of the ABs. And like they're saying, in less than ideal kicking conditions, Richie Moonga has been doing very well so far. Emilion Boffelli, he got caught off guard, was facing the wrong way, and then the drawing pass to Caleb Clark. Boffelli attempted to stop him, but he was still able to slide in. Caleb Clark from that close to the line is too big and too strong to be able to stop. The Kiwi lads, that membership milestone didn't display. And there says Robert, so I know that the membership milestones for some reason don't come through the editing software, but they do come through YouTube. So if you do want to put it again, Robert, I can put it up on the screen just through normal chat if that works better for yourself. And go the Springboks, says Dirkie, and there as well. And yeah, if the All Blacks win this game and the Springboks win theirs, we are back to every side having 2 wins throughout the Rugby Championship, which would be absolutely massive. But it's kicked downfield from Aaron Smith, does manage to find touch with it. And now it will be the Argentine who do have the line out throw. Go South Africa, says Zion. Rico is usually greedy with the ball, says Cooper Cronk. And then Yesko Bok, says Spider Mech. And there as well, but the line out accuracy for Argentina is actually the highest out of any team in the competition. The All Blacks, they have got the lowest with 79%. And Argentina, they are sitting on 90. So that's quite the difference. Looks like Matthias Alemano, or in fact, sorry, it's Thomas Lavanini, might have gotten a bit of a finger to the eye there and accept the box. I'll expect the box to smash tonight too, says Johnny, and also box not going to win anything, says Chris Seo, and goes South Africa. And also, surprise, Father Ioane hasn't clipped his 2 sons' ears, especially Rico, and he's a good old Jake DeMus style. And I also kind of agree with that. It works at club level to give a supporter the ball or superstar the ball, but diminishing returns at elite level. And Rico's a winger, not a centre, says Floyd King. That is something a lot of people have said all throughout his All Blacks career, ever since he moved to the centres, but they seem to be persisting with him in that centre combo. See, that's the thing for the All Blacks. If they had a little bit of a reshuffle, you could consider maybe Rico on the wing and Whainā Nuku in the midfield. Perhaps an also, all right, lads, what a day, 10 out of 10, says Sebastian. Welcome in, mate. I hope you are doing very well. Currently, the All Blacks, they have got themselves the 2 try to Groot and Clark. The 2 try scorers, Thomas Kubeli, hanging on to this at the back now, passes back across for Los Pumas. Now Matthias Orlando in the midfield. Kubeli goes back to Santiago Carreras. He's good. Tackle made by Ethan Groot. Oh, Sam Cane, he almost got straight through and stole that one, but just knocking it on in the last moment. Wasn't offside, so it was brilliant work in the end, but he just dropped it in the last moment. Fozzie loves playing guys out of position. Says Cooper Cronk there, and AB's to clip the Pumas, says Sakiasi. And there as well, but Sam Cane, it was decent work. For him, credit where credit's due. He's a little bit disappointed the fact that he wasn't able to hang on to that one clean. But he was quick getting in there. Caleb Clark at centre, says Floyd King there, and big love Johnny, says Sebastian. And if Win will have all these people thinking we back to normal like South Africa, but damage is done. Drop coach, drop Kane, or Kane, I think that is from New Zealand Bombers. Oh, they're speaking to Stephen Perofeta. They're going to give him more than 40 seconds this time. Hopefully. He's currently on the bench for not on the AB's bench. He's actually in the reserves, like kind of the outside of the 23. And Kane almost got a steal, says Hanoi. And Fozzie is out of position, says Terry Evans. And they're brilliant. Still dropped a kudos, says Fluffy. And there's over now. It's going to be the push. And it's off the back. Thomas Kubeli. That ball came out very clean. So a great hook from Julia Montoya. Does normally love a line-out throw, which is why they have got the best in the competition. Pablo Matera's shorts just got absolutely torn, but nice run from Santiago Cordero. Now getting close for the Pumas inside of the 22. Good contact made from Lomax on Grondona. Now Kubeli goes across to Joel Scalavi, who had Lavanini with him. Now they want to check to see if there was a tackle made by Ethan de Groot. There may have been an armless one. Maybe a bit of a shoulder charge. Now Thomas Gallo. Nice work there. Kubeli Going to the right-hand side. Nice step from Santiago Cordero. They've got a new advantage, and that time it's 4 offside. Now Lavanini goes off to Emiliano Boffelli. He's just going to be forced into touch. And being 17 now, or 17-0 down now, you'd have to say it's more than likely we see Argentina go for the corner here rather than the post. I think they're too far behind. And also what's with the mud flap haircuts. Seems to be the new trend is to kind of have a half mullet for the ABs. And well, this game is already over, says John there. If the ABs get a bonus point and win, will that mean that the ABs will be in the lead on the table, says Dark Scar Flame. I will actually bring up the table for you guys. So pretty much if they got themselves a bonus point win and Pumas aren't able to get themselves that bonus point, yes, the All Blacks would move into first just for now, and there would actually only be Australia who would be able to catch them. Well, it's nice work in the end by the Pumas to be able to keep those phases building and now going for the corner. They've scored 10 tries and a strike rate of 48%. So it's going to be decent. Big love to Nathan. Doing well, my guy. And also it's up there above there. It's a 9-month milestone. And there says Robert. And there's, I will go looking for it. So I assume it is this one. More than likely, the Broncos need to beat the Dragons by 43 for the finals and Raiders to lose for you to do their Saturday or Sunday game. Says Robert there as well. But now it's nice work from Grondona. 10 metres out. And Argentina have been able to retain that line out. Kubeli cross now to, I believe, it was the big man Guido Petty. Now Kubeli, short ball, Carreras tries to pop it up. It doesn't work out. It's going to be an advantage to the ABs. Now Will Jordan trying to break through. Whitelock instead does get the ball 22 metres out from their own line. It looks like the All Blacks want to go for the counter-attack here, and it's in the form of Adi Savia trying to break his way through. Quite able to go through. And also it seems like I haven't moved on since the 70s, says Cooper Cronk. Now, nice, strong run from Samasone Takiaho. Now Smith will be rolling it back into his pocket. No, instead actually decided to go to Rieko Ioane. Now space on the outside. Will Jordan kicks it in behind. It's going to be bouncing awkwardly, and it sits up on the halfway line for Santiago Cordero. It was actually a decent idea, though. The ball just didn't quite bounce the way. Now Carreras puts it high. New Zealand going to have to take this one just outside of their 22, and it is Geordie Barrett who's able to do so now. Absolutely punishes that one down to the 22. Back for Emiliano Boffelli. Gives it a strike. It's going to be close to going dead, is it? It's going to keep on rolling, and it stops. It pulls up. Yes, it does. And now Richie Mo'unga runs it back from inside of his own goal area. Risky tactic from him, but it has worked out in slippery conditions. As long as you get that step right, they are able to exit. And also, they're missing the sideburns. Oh, this looks real bad. Santiago Carreras, I think, has done a knee here or something in the middle region of his leg. If this is an injury, they haven't got Nicolas Sanchez, so he kicks it. Oh, it's Sam Cane, knee on knee there. So I really hope it's just a stinger. Sam Cane gives him a pat on the back and says, oops, sorry about that, mate. Coming through late, yeah. Straight on the kneecap. I think there was knee on thigh. And also we have got that rolling down the river, says Stephen Bissett. And also that is true. Bring back Keith Murdoch. But nice work from Richie Mo'unga. Good pressure initially from Santiago Cordero, but able to exit the in-goal area. This does not look good for Santiago Carreras. I hope he is going to be all right. Oh, was that? I think that was bruising already. That looked like a bruise above the kneecap. And I don't know whether or not that is maybe something to do with, I would say, I want to say it's something to do with some of the line markings. I hope, because if it's bruised that quickly, something's gone wrong in that knee. So I hope he is going to be all right at the moment. Sam Whitelock and Scott Barrett looking like they're going to have a bit of a chat about the locks. And Ethan DeGroot, is he going to be taken off the field? Where's he going? Hope he's not going off. He's already scored a try. And also we have got there, well done, Caleb Clark. Says Caleb Jacobs in there. Yeah, was able to score himself the try early on. So it seems like Santiago Carreras will be wanting to continue this match. And hi, Hamish. And there as well says Cookie Boy, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Currently, we have seen an All Blacks all-out attacking display throughout the first 27 minutes, although the Pumas have been firing back as well, which has made it very entertaining. And I think it's going to be a relatively, maybe close second half if the Pumas can certainly get themselves one in this first. And Keith Murdoch was a good guy. Got from the AB's admin And there as well, says Bob. Currently possession 62% for New Zealand, whereas Argentina have actually had more time inside of their 22. So it seems to be a good week for Fozzie and Kane, says Hanoi. Yeah, the good news is we're at least seeing Sam Kane a little bit more than we normally do, which can be a huge benefit for the All Blacks. Now it's driving forward once again. Pablo Matera at the back of this rolling maul. Julian Montoya sitting there comfortably waiting for the forwards to keep on putting on the big shunter. Looks like Kubeli is ready to use it. Goes off to the left-hand side. Now off to was Matthias Orlando. So Carreras is back up to his feet. I think it was just a real stinger on the kneecap. And it's great to see him back up to his feet. Pablo Matera now. Good work from De Groot. Almost able to get that clean turnover. Aaron Smith, the experience of that man to tell his forwards to leave it when they were almost going to get themselves penalised. Nice backline. Oh, tries to go through the legs there. Bit of skill from Matthias Maroni. And it's going to work out. He's going through a gap. Brilliant step. He's been dragged down by Jordy Barra, moving up to the 22 now for Los Pumas. It's a loose pass in behind, though. And Matera has to drop and grab that one to regather. It was close, though, for them being able to break through. And what's up, you lads? How are you? Says the Joker. Oh, I'm doing very well, mate. Nice work from the Pumas, but also good work from the All Blacks to be able to force them back to that 40 metres out now. Big shot on Montoya low. Now kicked him behind. It's going to be going forward. A little bit of an awkward bouncing one, but well done from Jordy Barrett there for the All Blacks. Now it will be Aaron Smith goes across the Lomax, tackled by Crema. And also Lavanini. It's going to be the advantage. Samasoni Takiaho trying to roll his way forward like the cannonball that he can be. Now Whitelock, couple big fins. Breaking through the All Blacks almost up to the halfway line now, up to 5 phases. Mwonga goes back to Havili once again, going with the little chip kick. It's going to be sitting up. Oh, that was a bit high from Will Jordan. And now going to have to run it back. It seems like he's just on, but he's been able to make the tackle on the 22. Richie Mwonga trying to slow it down a bit. That's gone through the hands of Pablo Matera, but they're going back for the initial high shot from Will Jordan. And also g'day again from Melbourne. Hopefully a win for New Zealand tonight, says Andy Watts. And also, hey, Hamish, how are you, brother? I'm doing very well. It's been an exciting game so far, with both sides trying to throw absolutely everything into it. It's a very wet day, so I hope everyone who was at the ground is certainly wrapped up nice and warm and has got themselves some sort of waterproof jacket on in the process. And hi, Hamish, says Dees Joe. 15 metres out. This would be normally in the range of Emiliano Boffelli, but being 17 points down, I believe that they will have to kick this one for the corner. It looks like Juan Cruz Malia will be in charge of doing just that. The All Blacks, they've got Will Jordan and Jordy Barrett back there just in case he does get it slightly wrong. That one's going to be going into touch comfortably, though. And now 22 metres out. It will be another line-out opportunity for the Pumas. And he in the same room as me, says Mr. Cookie Boy. And there. Will Jordan just riding up a little bit too high. He did run back. He was actually jogging almost at look, but I think he was running relatively quick. He's probably quicker jogging than a majority of New Zealand are running. Just the extra pace that he has got. And I didn't fall asleep 15 minutes ago, says Golden Guest. Now Pablo Matera off the back, passes off to Matthias Orlando. We have seen the two Matthiases in the midfield very prominently throughout the early stages in the first 13 minutes. Now Argentina, they've got themselves another advantage. Now the All Blacks, their discipline is starting to fade a bit. Just something they need to make sure that they do get right. It's going to be another advantage. Kubeli goes across the Lavanini. Rush defense from Sam Kane, but he's been just bumped off. In the end, Sam Whitelock able to make the tackle now. Thomas Gallo runs hard. Sam Kane makes the tackle on him. Kubeli goes back now to Carreras. Inside ball. Big hit from Sam Kane. And almost able to get the turnover in the process as well. But it is just going to be on the side of Argentina. Good shot from Kane on his opposite number. Crema now back across for Argentina. Tried to go for the kick, didn't work out, and it's going back. And also we have got there, cancel my Sky subscription. App keeps glitching, says Sweet As. I think a lot of people have had that trouble just for this game, more than likely. Because I know that that's why my parents did end up in my background for just a little bit of time, was because their Sky Go app was also glitching. But I'm watching on Sky Go, and it seems like now it is kind of behaving itself, which is good news. It seems like Argentina are going to be taking on the 3 points, I should say. Good morning from South Africa. ABs is on fire. Aussie 25-point margin win today against the Box, says Heinrich. An easy kick, says the Beast. Yeah, nice shot from Sam Kane. Currently 30 2 minutes through this contest. And also from Rarotonga, get out of that penalty groove, AB, says the Puna. And also we have got, Cookie Boy, you absolute menace, says Benis the Menace there as well. Emiliano Boffelli currently kicking at 7 from 7 for the Rugby Championship. Now, I regret to say I'm normally very good at jinxing people. So I do apologise if he misses this one. But Boffelli should be about a 99% chance that he does get this kick over. The crowd are booing him, which I feel is a bit harsh. Your team's already scored 2 tries. Give him a break. Boffelli about to line up this one. The crowd are making plenty of noise. He's taking his time to line it up, just making everyone stand in the rain for a little bit longer. Is Emiliano Boffelli. Takes a step back. 22 meters out. Straight down the middle. And that is going to make the score now 17 points to 3. Still in favour of the All Blacks. And also, I don't really mind who wins the South Africa / Australia game. It's better for New Zealand if South Africa win. And Meads was a fug like low. And also, Pumas on the ball. Well done, says Sebastian. And he's been on form since Australia game 1, says Golden Guest in there. And also the New Zealand flags from Pilat's kicked off by Richie Moonga. 7 minutes till we get to halftime. And it's nicely taken by Pablo Matera, who's been cleaned up by Will Jordan that time. Counter ruck now from the All Blacks. Shannon Frizzell getting in there. It becomes a penalty to the All Blacks. And it looks like Aaron Smith wants to take this one, possibly. Quickly looked at the back line, and you could see his brain ticking over there. He was scanning what the back line of the Pumas looked like, and whether or not there was a chance of a defensive break maybe coming up. And also nice kick, says Hanoi. And then also shout out 276 up the AB, says Adam Cooper. And also New Zealand always bounce back empathetically. It was nicely kicked from Moonga. Pablo took it. That is actually about the 3rd kickoff that Matera has been able to claim. Now the All Blacks, they have kicked it for the corner. And it does now mean that Samisoni Takiaho, perhaps he manages to get through in this one. Now going in. Artie Savia takes it very nicely. Sam Kane now bumping off the back. Marcos Crema tries to get a little bit back. Seems like the All Blacks, I believe that was a half arm out from Nick Berry. It becomes another penalty. Artie Savia takes the quick tap and goes. They are not back 10. And Lavanini, that could be close to maybe a yellow card, which, I mean, that man's seen quite a few of throughout his Argentine career. One of the best at getting them. Artie Savia gets close. 2 meters short now for the All Blacks. They are looking for the ball. Who wants it? It looks like Takiaho says that he would be keen to have a carry. I'm only a meter or so out. It's great work from Pablo Matera. Takiaho is over. And it's going to be a yellow card for Thomas Lavanini in the process, I believe. Yep. Lavanini, referee says, this is yours. Remember it from last game. There you go. Is it going to be Lavanini? Yes, it is. Thomas Lavanini now off the field. And Takiaho able to run in the try. That is going to be the 3rd try of the match. So, unfortunately for Thomas Lavanini, just a moment of a brain fade has led to him being off the field for the next 10 minutes for the Argentines. He was not back 10. He was only back a couple meters. New Zealand is dominating, says Atish. And also shout out Mike. Lavanini is the most carded guy in rugby. I'm predicting another try for New Zealand, says John. Oh, hang on. They're going upstairs here. A potential knock-on they want to have a look at. So I believe that would have been the Irish TMO who was in his ear and said there was possibly a chance of a knock-on. Now, the thing is, if this is a knock-on before Lavanini went off, does he get to come back out onto the field? Because it's an interesting one, because I would have thought once the card is given, you cannot take it away. But if he hasn't, I guess at the time of the knock-on, done anything wrong, maybe not. It's only as a gift from God in the forwards line, says Sebastian. And to be sure, says Johnny. Right, they are going to be checking this one. Where is it? Lomax, they have said, is the man who may have had the knock-on. 3 on the ground. Well, you'd have to say there was definitely some movement of the ball. Was it off Pablo Matera's hand or was it Lomax's? Okay. They've said it's rolled forward in the breakdown. So I believe that's actually going to be a no try. So does Lavanini get to come back out onto the field now? If it was, because he was penalised after that moment. We're going back for your penalty. Lavanini will be sitting there going, do I make, does he get to come not back 10? Oh, okay. So it was still the not back 10 penalty, and then after that was when it took place. Interesting. And also that game against Wales. And also we have got the live start. It's still early, says Tommy Ragnar. And also there's footage of Lima smashing Chisel and Colby. So how can that be Us? Says Maka Vanapola. And also would have liked to see Peter Gus Sawakula in the mix. He was playing for Taranaki earlier on in their defeat up against Waikato. And does Lavanini come back? I believe they are saying that it was after the... Okay, so I think Julio Montoya was just asking the question, like, because it was a penalty, does that mean he gets to come back? But I believe it was after they have said. So I guess that's what it goes for this one. We'll stick with it just for now. Now, scrum be 5 meters out from the line. And also we've got there only Nick White can cry and fight, says Fluffy there. And also Push, says Golden. Guess it's gone down to the front row. They are going to have another scrum reset. So 3 minutes 30 left. And this one, who is the ball? It is an All Black scrum feed 5 meters out from the line. It was a little bit confusing for a second there. Ref is too harsh, says Sakiasi. Is that for too harsh on the offside or in general? Because I believe because it was only about 10 meters out from the line, theoretically, because he was only back 2 meters, you get an extra 6 or so meters carried with Artie Savia off the tap. And it could be a whole different story in whether or not they do go in for the try. And the ball was stripped by Matera WTF, says I'm a deadbeat father. And there as well, that's an interesting name to have. Now, big push from Thomas Kubeli there, trying to put the pressure on the All Blacks. Now it's going to be the advantage in the 4-pack. Smith going across the Havili. Now Rico Ioane goes in between the sticks. And he will be very fired up for that one. We see Dalton Pabali and Brody Retallick. So unfortunately for Takiao, he misses out on the try, but Rico Ioane does go in for his 30-second try. That's his first of 2022 as well. That just kind of shows how quiet Rico Ioane has been when it comes to that try scorer sheet. Normally we see him ticking them over each and every week, but now he's had to work hard for that one. Great short ball from David Havili, though. A lot of the credit has to go to that man. And also Dave has said, you're stupid, commentator. And there, cheers, mate. I'm sure now I will be very sad. Second half will be interesting, says Shane. It certainly will be. And also Try Time says, I'm a deadbeat father. Do you have a nickname? I'm a deadbeat father rather than that one. Also, this game is over. Now it's just a matter of how far the ABs will win. And also, Hamish, you beautiful man, says Golden Guest. Now Richie Moonga kicks it over. And that now makes the score 24 points to 3. And then he's a wing, says Nazi Williams. And also very quiet in there as well. Nice run from Rico Ioane, confusing people who go to uni to do gender studies for 4 years. And you're walking Everton. Oh, geez. Okay, I'm not going to read that one out, Sebastian. You really went for the dagger in the heart, didn't you? And also Lawrence drop a knee on your face. I have no idea what that is. 24 points to 3 now with a minute and a half left into this first half. And also, you're still backing up the Argentina, says the NBA edits. Well, they're certainly going to have to play a little bit better than they have in this first half to be able to have a good chance. So Musoni Takiao, he's headbutted a line because he's just got a white forehead. He's out here looking like Avatar or a mohawk like Mr. T at the moment for Pablo Matera, or not Pablo Matera. So Musoni Takiao, awesome coverage, Hamish from Perth, from New Zealand, says Tommy. And also we have got, are you planning on growing a beard? Hamish says Dark Scarf Flame. I'd love to grow one. It just doesn't really grow too well. Like, I get the mustache all right, but it's the rest of the beard that just doesn't really come through. And also currently sitting 30 seconds left in the first half. And also, Hamish, you are my favorite commentator. I'm giving you 100%. And there says Kevin, do appreciate that a lot, mate. And also up the tunny fast, says Kelsey. And there as well. But now the throw has gone nicely for Argentina. Looking for this rolling ball. If they can get themselves a try here, only be down by 14 at halftime, that would actually be, I would say, a decent result for Argentina the way that this first half has been going. They start to roll and Scott Barrett starts to crawl or creep his way over the top of that line out or the rolling maul. Now it's going to be going down. Will be available. We hear the halftime siren currently. Joel Scalavi runs hard at Artie Savia and Sam Kane. Now Kubeli looks to his right-hand side. Santiago Carreras looks like that knee has freed up now. That's going to be the knock-on, and that will now be halftime between these two sides. And now there's going to be 24 points to 3 at halftime. And also Eben take on the whole team. He's going to be fired up for their next one. I love an AB's bonus point win, make things very interesting on the table. And also we have got Sam causing all sorts of mental distress for AB's fans. Kane, although to be fair, hasn't gone too bad in this game, I'd have to say. And also we have got, are we going to see consistency with the ABs in this game, the second half, or will the ABs remain scoreless in the second half, says Hayden. It's a great question. They've started brilliantly in this one. Out of all the YouTubers I've seen, you've got to be my favorite, says NBA Edits. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. That one currently 40 minutes down in the game, 40 minutes to go, and they're going to need a big turnaround in the second half for the Pumas. If the All Blacks can score, I'd say one more try, they'll put themselves in a very good position of being able to go on and get the bonus point. Of course, in this competition, it is 3 or more tries than your opposition rather than just scoring the 4 like a few of the other competitions around the world. Here we go. And Kiwi is defensive, says Akiasi, and also massive win coming. New Zealand 60, Argentina 3. And yeah, and also this is a big score margin first half for an RGAB game. And good evening / good morning all. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Of course, just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, in less than 2 hours' time, South Africa, they will be taking on Australia. That is going to be an awesome fixture. As the table currently sits, we do see Argentina at the top of the bunch, although at the moment, if this was the way that the game ended, New Zealand would have a plus 10 points differential, and also they would have themselves the bonus points. So that would put them up to 10, which would then mean that it does have the All Blacks in first. Argentina would still just be in second, I believe, with the points differential the way that it's sitting currently, as they would only have a plus 2 points differential, and then Australia and South Africa. That is if the game finished right now, but we have still got another 40 minutes left. Should be a very entertaining one. Good score so far for a Foster team, says Inked Up, and ABs will be the aim, or will be aiming for that bonus. Damn, how much did you pay the ref to give the ABs this pity win, says Mornay. Interesting choice on that one. I mean, to be fair, if the referee, well, he wasn't really involved that much in this one. I mean, I'm going to look at the penalty stats. I think Argentina actually gave away less penalties than the ABs in this one. And hey, Hamish, love your work from Melbourne. Any idea why the ABs versus Wallaby game is on Thursday? I believe it's so that it doesn't overlap with the NRL Grand Final or one of those NRL big matches that are coming up, which is a little bit unfortunate, seeing as Saturday games are normally the ones that are absolutely awesome to see, just because we love ourselves a weekend fixture. But overall, I think it's Thursday that they're going to be playing, and then their next game is going to be on the Saturday. And Hamish Up the Mighty says, Golden Guest, and what's with these South Africans and the refs, says Cooper Cronk. And do you guys think Rugby Championship is fixed matching because of money, says Coach Ifang? I don't believe so. I think it's just the teams that people used to think were easy beats are no longer easy beats. And also, is the yellow card specialist in the bin? If you're talking Thomas Lavanini, he actually is. He did go in there. And also, we have got Salty Saver Alert, Monet, settle your mate, says Sebastian. But looking through at this first half, because even with those penalties we have seen, the All Blacks have still scored 3 tries to the Pumas, none. So, I mean, it's all well and good blaming a ref if the game's close, but if it's not so much, we've seen 5 penalties against the All Blacks, 4 against Argentina. So that's not going to change a game hugely. At this point in time, if Zimbabwe can beat Australia in the cricket today, then the Box have no excuses, says Johan. And also, Kiwi Lad grow a Merv Hughes mustache. I mean, I'd like to. It just takes quite a little while. And all in all, in this for a soccer country, Argentina have done quite well. Rugby is very small in support in Argentina, says Life Starts Here. They've been brilliant throughout the last year or so. The fact that they have been traveling all around the world for the past 2 years, and now that they're starting to get those home games, that win up against Australia would have felt so awesome for them. And also, there's a small group of people in the rugby community now believing refs are paid off to give the win to certain teams. This is being pushed by a particular YouTube channel I found recently, says the username. And also, hi, says Ali, and sad news, my obese pet parrot died. It just ate way too much. But on the plus side, It's a huge weight off my shoulders. I see. Do you actually have a pet parrot, or is that just the joke? Because I've always wanted a parrot. That's why I asked, because I want one of those ones. I don't know whether it's a parrot or a cockatoo, I think it is. One of those ones that can like say words. Imagine if when I need to go and get like a drink or something, I can just sit a parrot here and it just talks through what's happening in the game. I feel like that would be absolutely incredible. And rugby refs suck, says Dup, but at least they're all sucking together, I guess. And I think we talked about it last week. And it's mainly because all of them have different interpretations on the rule, even though the rule book theoretically should be straightforward, black and white. But all the referees all see things differently. So I feel like either the rule book needs a bit of a change to make it more straightforward, or they need to find a way of kind of doing it in a way that it does seem like every decision across the board are actually going to be relatively close. I like those parrots that swear, says Nazi Williams. And also African Greys are amazing parrots, long-lived and big, says Mysterian. And also Go ABs and conspiracy theorists can always find data validating them. Could help them if I wanted to. It means nothing, says the show. And the rest are inconsistent. Exactly right. So if they were able to somehow find a way of having all the referees on the same page and just pretty much refereeing it completely the same, it would be hugely handy. And I guess it would stop people from thinking that there's money being thrown around. Because once we get to the World Cup, you know it's going to be set. Pretty much every single game, if there's an upset win for a minnow team, let's just say, for instance, if Italy beat France somehow, everyone would say it wasn't the fact that Italy played well. It was because someone put money on the table that then made it kind of go the other way. And Nigel Owens said he would have handled that game differently last week, says Cited. And also, yes, boys, that is the way we must always play, says Marciello. Now, Polly wants a cracker, and I want a cracker of a match, says Stephen. And good morning, Hamish, says Mickey Mouse. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Currently, the All Blacks, they have had 80 extra meters carried, 230 for the All Blacks and 150 for Argentina. Defenders beaten 14 compared to the 6, and then the clean breaks 3-2. And then the tackles, we've seen a few more made by Argentina. And also we have got, would the parrot get on with Billy? I'm not too sure. Billy doesn't really get on with the lambs that we've got currently, because we've got a couple young lambs in the backyard. But I think the cat from over the back fence actually likes the lambs better than Billy does. Billy, I think, gets a little bit jealous. And the two reasons I watch YouTube are ghost hunting and Hamish's sports commentary. That's a bit of a interesting one. I guess some people have said I'm as pale as a ghost, so maybe you're getting a little bit of a 2-for-1 combo. Imagine if you got hired to commentate the rugby games. That would be very weird, I think, because I'd probably end up just asking the other commentators, who do you think is going to score the first try? They'll probably get sick of me very quickly. And also, we have got AB says, no excuse, get to take this match. Ref being paid, get off the grass. I'm more like sub-alert. And then says Tapuna, and it's a shame that Johnny Bairstow will be from the third test, or out for the third test against South Africa. Yeah, took a knock at the golf course, didn't he? Hurt himself and need a poll for your new parrot name. And France has a good defense, says there from Dub. Yeah, they certainly do. But looking through at a few player stats for this first half, we'll see who's had the most running meters. Currently, Rico Ioane, he's on 25. Above him, though, Artie Savia. And also, we have seen Taukiaho on 35 and 39 for Caleb Clark. Then for Argentina, we've seen 51 meters carried by Matthias Maroni, 4 carries and 3 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. Actually a very impressive performance in the midfield from Matthias Maroni. Also tackling-wise, we've seen the most tackles made by far for the All Blacks by Sam Cane. He's made 9 compared to the second highest, which is 6 for the All Blacks. And then also 10 made by Julio Montoya and Thomas Gallo having the 10 as well. So now if the All Blacks win, New Zealand rugby bosses will say, oh, Foster is good again. He can keep his job. They just don't see the inconsistency within him. Hello, says Johan as well straight after. So pretty much because they've locked him into the 2023 World Cup, unless they do want to pay him a whole heap of money, I think he'll be sticking around for quite a bit longer. And then definitely till after 2023's World Cup, then they'll look at it again. If the All Blacks manage to win, that would be absolutely massive for the ABs. Yeah, we will have to wait and see exactly how it does end up going. What we're quickly going to do is we're going to see how the odds are sitting for this game, because I believe Argentina will be well and truly a lot lower now for this contest. We'll go here and we'll go here and we will start typing in the TAB. There we go. And I'm opting for the All Blacks to step it up in the second half. And also, Hamish, how's it? See, the ABs aren't messing around today, says Nkosi. Yeah, they have been looking a lot better in this contest than they did last week. A little bit more clinical, which I think has been the massive difference for them. So Argentina to win this game is paying $41. And so it's too expensive to get rid of garbage. Lovely stuff, New Zealand Rugby Union. And yeah, I think the fact that they locked him until 2023's World Cup after having one big win was probably something that annoyed a few people. But currently, it's going to be interesting. See how he does end up going. A bet 50 mil on the All Blacks, says Dub. On this game, Dub, because I know that the TAB, I don't think they accept bets that big, so you'd have to go to a different website when we stream the cricket. Next, probably the next test match will be when we do have the cricket coming up soon. But tomorrow, I think we might have Canterbury versus Hawke's Bay for the Bunnings NPC, and we might even have a George round for that match. But possession-wise, New Zealand had a lot more of it. And from scrum, says Dub, and game, or Jan too good. So yeah, he's up against Taito Avasa in the main event tomorrow. And that's also going to have Robert Whittaker taking on Marvin Vittori. That's going to be a big one. 3 Barrett boys on one team is unfair, says so. Cole Games, although currently they have only got 2 out there and $40, that's worth a $20 third England and South Africa test. I'm starting to slur my words a little bit. I haven't been drinking. For anyone wondering, only the water in this bottle, unless it's whiskey. That would be a lot of whiskey. It's 1.5 litres. Does the TAB accept lettuce? This depends on how old they are. If they're still a decent, like, edible lettuce, maybe. And hey, what are the lambs' names? So their names are Daisy and Buddy. They were named by my mum. And thoughts on Stephen Petafeta? I think he will go overseas at some stage if he doesn't get more opportunities for the All Blacks. They are really underutilising him. And I feel like it's just not a gap for him at the moment. Even though he's a class player, they don't seem like they're going to give him a chance. And the players and their mindset, sick of it, the coach, everyone at fault, says Chris Sarah. And also we have the Northland beat Auckland today. And for the first time in about 40 years, they were able to beat them in Northland, which was absolutely massive. Tomorrow is the third test, South Africa versus England, says it was Nkosi there. And also even nicer chops and rather vodka, mate, whiskey ain't crystal clear. Not the good stuff anyway, says Sebastian. And also, are you doing the ODI cricket series, New Zealand versus Australia? We are hoping to do a majority of those matches. I believe they're all starting at about 4:30 New Zealand time, if I'm not wrong. And also top shelves, says Nathan. And also line up them shots, Hamish, pour them whiskey. That's how long until Daisy ends up being your Sunday roast, says Marco. No, she the female, so she'll get to go out to the farm and create mini daisies in the future, I would think. Buddy, he might get the job of getting to also create mini lambs, if you know what I'm saying. The old ram that he will be. And Warriors useless, just saying, or love, says Nazi Williams, will probably even get a run. I think he will throughout this contest, but Sam Kane currently in the first half has stepped up. I was pretty impressed with the amount of work rate that man was putting in. He's made 9 tackles, which is more than any of his teammates by 3. Sevens World Cup next week, says Cooper Cronk. It certainly is. It's going to be awesome from Cape Town. Should be absolutely massive. And favourite Super Rugby team, says Cole Gaines. I always struggle to pick, so I normally pick the team that I like their kit the best, and that is probably Australia as my favourite kit out of all of them. And Kamate, how do you guess the Argentines can beat the All Blacks? And there says Tapuna. So if Argentina want to turn this game around, they certainly need to limit those handling errors around the side. 2 more Kiwi dishes you recommend other than lamb rack or Kiwi? I guess probably I'd say roast beef's probably our other one for New Zealanders. Also fish and chips, classic Kiwi fish and chips. A bit of pavlova, I guess. It's actually, when you think about it, I can't think of too many classic just New Zealand foods. Maybe a pie, actually. Get yourself a New Zealand pie. Be relatively happy with it. Would it be funny? Would it be funny if South Africa choke again in the World Test Championship, says John. And are you just wearing a pair of boxer shorts bottom half or suit top half and suit top half? So I think this has become a bit of a tradition that I show you guys what pants I have. But I've got pants on. Oh, wow, this is very blurry now, isn't it? There we go, we're fixed. Yeah, so I got pants on. It's because, like, if I had just worn the boxers, as you said, earlier on when my mum and dad weren't able to watch it on Sky Go, they actually came into the room. So that would have been a bit awkward me just sitting here in boxes while they are sitting there watching the game next to me. Scoreline was predictable to win the ABs, and New Zealand sucks everything out of you to do that in consecutive weeks, almost impossible. Says Roger, yeah, last team to do it, 2022, Ireland in there. And I was thinking about pies, what filling though? I'd say a good old steak and cheese pie is probably a decent one. Mutton could also be another option. What else goes with mutton? What do you have? Mutton and rosemary? Something like that? Rosemary is one that goes with lamb. Not too badly, isn't it? But now, second half just about to get underway. It's going to be number 22 getting the opportunity to make his way out onto the field. So actually a very early change for Argentina, but that is due to Santiago Carreras. I believe he was injured. Well, that's one. You're the only one I tuned into, Hamish, because of your Kiwi accent is easier to pick up. Says Dakuti. Do appreciate that a lot, I guess. Luckily, got a bit of a New Zealand twang when I get going. Now Scott Barrett taking it nicely for the All Blacks. Second half, 40 minutes splits these two sides from victory or defeat, or maybe draw, depending on how it ends up going. Simasoni Takiaho has still got that white paint down his forehead. Aaron Smith going for the box kick down to 50 metres out. Buffelli gives it off to Juan Cruz Malia. Nice run forward. Sam Cane helps make the tackle alongside De Groot. Now Kubeli goes across. Nice work from Argentina, trying to put a few phases together here early on in the half. Thomas Gallo. In fact, it's Joel Scalavi that time. Now Kubeli goes back into the pocket. Going to put high from the number 22. Nice take there from Argentina, though. I was interested to see how that kick would end up going because they were inside of the All Blacks half, so I thought maybe the running game we might see a little bit more of from Argentina. Pablo Matera, Waikato pass off now nicely to Juan Cruz Malia, who was finding himself out on the wing for that phase. 6 phases in. Sam Cane making another tackle on Joe Scalavi. Now back across Uriel Plieta. 40 metres out for Argentina, just phase after phase after phase. They've got to try and find a way through, but I don't think it's from kicking. Brilliant run from Uriel Plieta. Now up to 22. I mispronounced his name really badly there. I do apologise. Now Santiago Cordero going short side, inside ball off to Thomas Kubeli, getting a little bit isolated on this near side of the park. 20 metres out now. New Zealand trying to go for the counter ruck, but Argentina doing very well to hang on to it. Up to 10 phases. Now Santiago Grondona, tackled by Savia. New Zealand on the back foot for this first half, as we have seen, like I mentioned, phase after phase. Thomas Gallo, great run, but ripped away by Sam Whitelock. Brilliantly done by the veteran Elrico Ioane. Off to Will Jordan. Kicks it in behind, and it's going to be a bit of a foot race, it seems like. Santiago Cordero is taking it relatively casually. Ari Savia hits him hard, and Will Jordan helps drive him back. Now Savia over the ball. The All Blacks just unable to turn that ball over, but Argentina now find themselves about 80 metres back from where they started the last phase. It's all from Sam Whitelock getting that turnover. Big score. And there's raw fish and fried bread in there. And also we have to Mickey Bro. Thank you for the live stream. Says Plan B. No worries at all. That one has gone into touch. The Pumas relieve the pressure. That was a bit of a hectic start to the half. And eyeballs, says Plan B, and also Chair. Haven't been on the stream in ages, says Rio Game. I hope you are doing well, mate. Hope you have been keeping busy throughout the years so far. It was a great kick in behind from Will Jordan, and it seemed like Cordero took it very casually. Now, the thing is, he waited to be able to pick that ball up. I think he strategically waited, thinking that if Adi Savia committed too early, it was going to be the penalty. But instead, he did end up just putting that extra little bit of pressure on himself. Argentina have done well to exit their 22 there. That amount of pressure, but now New Zealand, they are going to have themselves a line out throw from just outside of the 22, doing well. First weekend off work in a little while, says Rio Gamer. Yeah, hopefully work's all going smoothly for you. It has been a couple months at least, hasn't it? Moden Barrett will be coming off the bench. Tupai as well. Christie, Pavali, Retallick, Fletcher Knoll, George Bauer, and Dane Coles. Those are all the options that they have got. And also really well. Springboks might have a chance against Argentina in 2 weeks. Says John, now passed across. It is Sam Cane. Nice ball off to Geordie Barrett. Hits a hard into Julio Montoya. Smith. Now across to Samasoni Takiao. A man who was unlucky not to get himself a try in that first half. Lomax. Now back to Smith. Shannon Frizzell tries a bit of a step and a gallop in the process. Now back Sam Whitelock goes to Richie Moonga. A lot of pressure on Takiaho, but Pablo Matera's able to drag him down. Montoya on the ball. No, not quite able to get that clean turnover. Now Smith is to pass it back to Will Jordan, who is just behind him now, trying to break through. Another tackle made by Montoya, who just had to dive back onto the side of the Pumas to make sure he stays in the hunt for the ball. New Zealand now up to 9 phases. Short ball off to Whitelock. Argentina rushing up very quickly, trying to get that turnover. If there is the opportunity, good run from Takiaho. Another good low tackle made by the Argentine number 22. The only sub that they have made now. Nahavili goes off to Caleb Clark. Just bumps straight over the top of Borfelli, but he's been dragged down by Borfelli's body that he was trying to step all over. Now it's stolen in the breakdown by Borfelli. And Argentina have done nicely to get that ball back. Julio Montoya takes the carry. And now looks like Kubeli might consider going for the box kick. This second half has been played at an absolutely frantic pace. The Kiwi lads are recommended by me always for these games. So here's that Gary Lane kick downfield, and it does manage to find the touchline. And there. And also we have got, in the chat, agreed if they do not deliberately lose, no shame. It's motive in that case. And I was thinking they were losing on purpose too, bro. Says plan V or plan B. Or you think it's some sort of ploy to get their World Cup odds just a little bit further down, so that the New Zealanders can make a bit more money. And been a few forward passes from the Puma. Shake my head. Says, I am deadbeat father. And well spotted, Sebastian, you got it, says Stephen. As well thrown in nicely by Samasoni Takiaho, claimed by Barrett. 45 minutes through this contest currently, and the All Blacks have got themselves the position once again inside of the Pumas half. Looking for that rolling ball to start up. It looks like the rain slightly eased up a bit, though, compared to what we saw in the first half. Anytime you see someone kicking, you can normally see the raindrops making their way down. For now, though, maybe a little bit lighter. Now pass back across. Nicely taken by David Havili from the pass of Takiaho. Now Tyrell Lomax tries to bump through Thomas Lavanini, who is now back out on the park. I should mention cheese and always blow on the pie. Can the ABs win the World Cup, says Floyd King? They are still up there as in contention, but it's still going to be very tricky for them to build from here. They've still got a lot to come up. Rugby Championship next year. I believe they will have the November internationals. Lavanini, he's once again been penalised. No surprises there, I guess you could say. We're beatable instead of unbeatable. No pressure, says Mr. Papa Giorgio. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Now, looks like Richie Moonga are going to be lining up this kick from about 30 out, relatively out in front. No such thing as a Kiwi dish other than power. And there, Floyd, yes, we can. And what are those letters? Says Marco Vonapola. But Richie Moonga sitting currently 4 from 4 tonight. 2 kicks pretty much straight out in front from 15 minutes. Like they're saying, it's slowly eased in the weather. Looks like the rain has stopped, which is very good news. And Chair David says, Video Gamer. As well, currently 47 minutes in. The crowd are doing the Mexican wave. And Richie Moonga will be hoping to send this one straight down the middle and over the post for the first points in the second half for either of these sides. Richie Moonga, he strikes straight down the middle. His kicking has been pinpoint accurate throughout here. And also we have got their big love brother David, and also South Africa came from nowhere to win the last World Cup, says Floyd Kingy. Although I guess that's the thing. South Africa currently, they're building a lot of great players heading into 2023. Another team that comes to mind is definitely France as well, with a huge amount of depth. And now a couple changes being made. Guido Petti coming off and Matthias Alimano making his way out onto the field for Argentina. Kubeli off for Berrano. And then also, I believe it's going to be Juan Matan Gonzalez, a man who I thought would have been starting this match, but instead they gave it to Grondona. Also, Bello off the field, or on the field, for Scalavi, unable to claim their one half Villi. It looked like for the start, he did have it in his hands, but now it's going to be back on the side of Argentina, and straight away, we see Bello get the carry. Now, Berrano going back. Oda Plieta puts it high, nicely taken by Jordy Barrett under the high ball. 30 metres out from their own line. A counter-ruck from Argentina, but unfortunately just put the hands down before he was able to turn it over. I think Gonzalo Berrano couldn't quite understand that one, but unfortunately, in fact, it's Juan Cruz Malia did get penalised for that one. And brother Sebastian, much love, my man. And also because England focused on beating ABs in the final last World Cup. Not South Africa, England were clueless against South Africa, says Plan B. And any top 14 streams, I'm hoping to do a little bit of the top 14 this year. Also, Gallagher Premiership starting up next week. So it's going to be absolutely awesome seeing all of these domestic competitions make their way back up. And also awesome call, Hamish, you gifted, bro. And Ditch the Suit and Tie, put on a nice Wallaby jersey, says Jimmy. I mean, at the moment, I don't actually own a Wallabies one, but maybe in the future. That's the thing. I love yellow, but they've gone down the orange route now, haven't they, for the Wallabies? I prefer a 2020 Wallabies kit, I think. If I had to choose, it's nicely taken by Emiliano Boffelli. He was a little bit late calling for the mark. And now sends it downfield. Nicely taken by Richie Mo'unga. 50 minutes gone now. Nice stepping from Geordie Barrett. Moving up to 45 metres out from the line now for the All Blacks. Aaron Smith, short pass. After Tyrell Lomax, I believe Matthias Moroni was saying that was a forward pass, although he seemed to be the only player who was doing so. Richie Mo'unga trying to go for the chip and chase. It's gone straight into the hands of Gonzalo Belgrano, but it's a counteract from the All Blacks. Now Shannon Frizzell gets his hands just on the ball. He's knocked it on, but it's become a penalty for the All Blacks again. And yeah, boys, top 14 is back. The competition will a perfect research for the Rugby World Cup stadiums and how the French lads fare, says Sebastian in there. And Hamish, didn't you also promised to stream Brazilian women's beach volleyball, says David. I know that was a very popular one for the Commonwealth Games that everyone did want to see. So is the top 14, does that start this weekend or next weekend? It might actually, it's this weekend, isn't it? Have we had any games yet? 2 Minute Noodles, says Floyd Kingy, and only one colour jersey, bro Black, says Johnny. And Richie is having an amazing game, says I'm a deadbeat father. Does Argentina still stand a chance? If they do, they certainly need to get themselves some points relatively soon. If they aren't able to do that, they are definitely going to be struggling here. And yes, please, says Nancy Williams. And also whitebait season, by the way, I'm baking an egg pie. That's actually what my parents had for tea. Fun fact. Nicely taken by Sam Whitelock. And now the rolling maul commences for the All Blacks, maybe looking to go out wide. We have seen Caleb Clark already run himself in a try this game, but Samasoni Takiaho starting to get this rolling maul in motion. Those big forwards in front of him, now they are going to have to use it relatively soon. They're trying to get it through. It's going to be in another advantage this time against Matthias Alemano, doing brilliantly to hang on to that one was Samasoni Takiaho. Now Smith goes across to Sam Cane, a lot of pressure on him. And I believe there was too much pressure. In fact, Pablo Matera slightly offside for that one. Frizzell now dragged down by Matthias Orlando, falling the wrong way, and it is going to be now going back for the penalty. And also, has Frizzell improved? The AB's forward, says Joe Webby. I like the fact that he brings that little bit of extra physicality into the side right. It's going to be the last warning at the sounds of it by Argentina. Okay, none of the games of the top 14 are actually on Sky in New Zealand. So we won't actually be able to cover any of them for the first week. If we were to cover any of them, it probably would have been Bordeaux versus Toulouse and La Rochelle versus Montpellier. But unfortunately, not being showed here in New Zealand. And getting the munchies, says Johnny. And yeah, I know this wouldn't have changed the game, but this ref's arm only goes one way, says Life Starts. And yeah, at the moment, I mean, the All Blacks, I think after the first half, they would penalise more. So I see what you're talking about. Although, of course, you're not talking about the All Blacks in terms of the penalties. But yeah, 5 given away by the All Blacks in the first half compared to the 4 of the Pumas in the second. So relatively even for the penalties. Just the advantages have been starting to add up. So now penalties, we have seen 4 against the All Blacks now and 7 against the Pumas. So, yeah, starting to add up a little bit more. Just let's leave Northern Hemisphere rugby in the Northern Hemisphere, says Stephen Bissett. I love watching Northern Hemisphere rugby, though. I feel like it's a whole new style sometimes. And also Canal Plus illegal stream, is it? And or Canal Plus illegal stream it is, says Sebastian. And the ref must be doing a good job because he's hardly been mentioned, says Kipakaronga. New Zealand is blessed by losing 3 in a row, says Saikasi. Sorry, I said that slightly wrong. Sakiasi, I believe it is. Webbix hot water, sugar, and butter because there's no milk, says Plan B. But now Null, he will be making his way out onto the park. Same with George Bauer. Aaron Smith has been subbed, and that is for Finley Christie now. Oh, I know this game wouldn't have changed the game, but this ref only goes one way. Again, from Life Starts there. And also, I need to buy you a new suit, says Steve Hansen. And there's, I have worn the same one for quite some time. And does anyone know the finances of wages? Because that moved very quickly. Income if they lose. Let's say are corrupt betting against themselves. It makes no sense to lose. Just my 2 cents, says Peugeot. So, yeah, I don't think it changes whether they win or lose a game, their salaries. So, I wouldn't think that anyone would be match fixing at this international level. We've seen players in the past for other sports get absolutely red listed and or blacklisted, in fact it is, and you never get to do anything involving the sport ever again. So it depends for some people whether they're in it for the money or the passion of the sport. And I think a lot of these guys out there on the park are certainly there for the passion. Scott Barrett now trying to work his way over the top, getting close, only a couple meters out now for the All Blacks. Looks like Takiaho once again wants to have a carry around the side. He's going to be just short of the line. Now Bauer gets going. He's going to be just short. And this is great work from Argentina, I believe. It was their number 19, Matthias Alemano. No, it's Pablo. Pablo Matera has been able to do brilliantly. George Bauer has not quite able to get that one over the line. It looks like the rain is starting to maybe go a little bit heavier. And also, you're going all the way, Hamish, says Nazi Williams. And also, I'm so poor, a water boiled up. And rotten corn says plan B. And there's well, but George Bauer, he went round the side. Grant Nisbet was celebrating as if he had scored the try, but it was a penalty to Pablo Matera, getting his hands on the ball. Now a line out for Argentina, 22 meters out from their own line here. They want to make sure that they continue to build their way up the field. Maybe it's an exiting kick that we do see from Los Pumas, or maybe a backline. No, it's going to be the exiting kick option. Ura Pieta kicks it downfield, finds touch. Will Jordan considered taking it quickly, but we'll hang on to it now. 45 meters out, and New Zealand will have themselves another line out. Tritone says, cited, I'm so poor, I eat Aussie food. Eliana, who's your favourite player? Says NBA. Is that in this game or just in general? Do you let me know? Favourite player in this game, though, it's probably still got to be Samasoni Takiaho, because he has looked impressive in that front row. His lineouts have been very good as well, which has helped New Zealand out. And then if I had to pick player in the back line for New Zealand, I would probably go with either Caleb Clark or Rico Ioane. Although Moong has been pretty decent as well. Marcos Crema has been able to get another turnover, and it becomes the penalty to Argentina. They are still in this game. They do not want to give up. Okay, Rico Ioane has just been penalised for not rolling away, and nice and healthy. And now I'm so poor. I listen to Kiwi Lads commentary rather than pay Sky's subscription. Although Sky is expensive here in New Zealand and not even burnt impressive, says Nazi Williams. But I should mention, anyone who does want to watch the Australia versus South Africa game, it is going to be taking place in Australia, which does mean you can actually watch it for free if you have got a VPN. So I will quickly find a link to a VPN. We have got an affiliate link. So if anyone does want to sign up for the VPN, pretty much the VPN costs money, but watching the game free, it will be an option on 9 Now in New Zealand or anywhere really. If you don't have Sky, one moment, we will go like this. We will go. I am confused. I'm looking around my own channel and I have no idea how to get around it. We'll go like that. Penalty advantage now in favor of the Pumas once again. There we go. Anyone who doesn't need a VPN, be sure to check out our link. It's going to be a great run now for Argentina. Only a couple meters out. Pablo Matera. Does he get it down? Oh, he's over the line. It's not Pablo Matera. I see him sitting there with his hands on his hips. They're going back for the penalty to Argentina, though. The score makes me very happy, says Debbie Rogers. Although, getting close now, does New Zealand still have good steak? Yeah, the steak's not too bad. Raw, it depends on where you get it from, though, because sometimes a porterhouse is actually better than a ribeye. If you are a lady who's the sexiest of the three Barrett brothers, says Life Starts, I think a lot of the ladies around do enjoy the look of Bowden. And also, we have got, and then the most Kiwi food of all time would have to be the Cuzzies Tiki, says I'm deadbeat father, and also how was Smith a change, says Golden Guest. So yeah, they did end up taking off. Aaron Smith now 5 minutes out. Julio Montoya throws it in, taken by Lavanini. Good attacking opportunity here for the Pumas. Pablo Matera passes it back to Julio Montoya. It starts a march now for Argentina, and the Pumas, they want to get over the line for the first time in this game. It's an advantage. The All Blacks, they try and drag it down. It's getting close. It's a pile of men. It's going to be very hard to find the ball in the middle of that, and I think New Zealand will just be holding that ball in. Double blow of the whistle. This could be a cynical one, and they are going to the pocket. And now New Zealand, who's the man underneath it all? 18. It's going to be Fletcher Null, who is penalised for that one for dragging it down. And Fletcher Null, he looks very confused. But he is going to be going off the field for the next 10 minutes now. So a brilliant opportunity for New Zealand, for Argentina to be able to go through. And also the car with the downward from John and Staffers at better stake. And the New Zealand best stuff goes overseas. It certainly does, although you can every once in a while get a hidden gem in the mix of the stake. Or if you got home kill, that's normally very tender as well. Now, Shannon Frizzell looks like he's got a bit of a knee injury here, which means if he is not 100%, maybe Dalton Papali'i makes his way out onto the field. And who the F is Fletcher? No, he's still the very young guy from the Crusaders, the tight end prop. He's only about 21 years of age or something along those lines. Now, Papa Matera once again takes that one in the lineup. This is a much better opportunity now for the Pumas as they march, and they march the more they're getting close. 23 minutes left on the clock. Oh, Matera breaking off the back, getting close, but Argentina will still be kept just a couple meters out and tryless at this point of the game. Now Martin Gonzalez, another advantage against the All Blacks. They're going to be careful. They could end up with another man in the bin. In a short moment close for Matthias Moroni. And once again, it's going to be another advantage to the Pumas. All they need is to get this ball out, but it looks like once again the All Blacks may be holding it in there. And now diving over the top for Baron Lavanini. I think he might not have put that ball down. And also I like the cheaper stake, rump stake. And then, cheers, says Sebastian. And also the Tongas down the road dined. Oh, no. And this referee is bumping Argentina here, says Stephen Pope. Okay, on-field decision is no try, but they did still have penalty advantage. And I love switch fillet, says Rio Gamer. Okay, they're going to be showing the angle of this try. I think Lavanini tried to bend his way over the top of the breakdown, but I don't believe he got it down. I think, Richie Mo'unga has been able to slap it out of his hands. A try saving one there from Richie Mo'unga. And also Caleb Kurambeti and Ireland honestly beat the All Blacks though. Says plan B and knock on. It certainly wasn't. ABs must have had Carver before the match, right? It's going to be going back for another penalty against the All Blacks. I would say we're only one penalty away from seeing another yellow card against the ABs. But Brodie Retallick just about to make his way out onto the park. Whether that is for Whitelock or whether it's for Barrett, we'll have to wait and see and keep trying to cross the line, lads. No point taking the threes anymore. Exactly right. They are now locked and loaded, trying to get themselves the full 7 on offer. And also, I fill it, and after I've dined, I wake up. Says David the Mod. Can't wait to watch the next match. Yeah, it's going to be a massive one. We are starting our live stream from 9 p.m. New Zealand time, and that is going to be massive clash between South Africa and Australia. This live stream will actually redirect you guys straight over to that one. One moment, we will quickly go like this. At the back for Julio Montoya there. Now Berrano going across. It's going to be another knock on from Marcos Cremo, although he well and truly got set up there. So Brodie Retallick actually out on the field for Shannon Frizzell. And I believe the reasoning behind that will be Retallick will go to 4 and then, Retallick will go to 4 or 5, and then we will see more than likely Scott Barrett move into 6 for the rest of this game. No try there. Nice intercept though. And if they deny the ABs their bonus point, they stay on top of the ABs. Says Sebastian there, but it looks like Tyrell Lomax. Little bit of a push and a shove. I think it was Lavanini who was right in there. Initially, he tried to start a fight with Will Jordan. And then from there, he decided, right, Will Jordan's not biting. I'll go find another player who might want to play a little bit of the boxing. So Masoni Takiao gives Richie Mo'unga a pat on the back. Said, I got you, mate. Don't worry about him. I'll clean him up. And also Blitzbox, says Cooper Cronk. Of course, Blitzbox, they are going to be playing in only a week's time. All Whitelock's now down. And blow your nose on the inside of your suit, Kiwi style, says Nazi Williams. And there I eaten a Scotch filly. And maybe Fozzie should just outsourced the discipline of Sir Umanga. And also true that Sebastian says Nathan, but Whitelock, most appearances for the All Blacks. He is sitting on the second most at the moment. He needs 10 more to tie with the all-time great Richie McCaw with 148 there, depending on point differential, of course. And RG is just hungry and desperate, testing AB's defense with 14 and holding strong. And there as well, says Golden Guest. 20 minutes left on the clock. And yeah, Whitelock has been taken off the field. That is for Tyrell Lomax because they did need a tight hair prop out there on there. And with Whitelock already looking like he had some sort of injury, seemed like a decent enough option. And roast pork is better than steak. I don't know if I've ever actually had roast pork. I've always had like pork chops or pork steaks, but I don't think I've ever had a roast of pork. Might be something to try in the future. And nothing beats lamb rump or pork rump better than a steak, says Mysterion. Now 10 metres out from their own line, the All Blacks feed the ball in with Finlay Christie. All right, in there, the feet have slipped out, but it's going to be the penalty advantage now for New Zealand. Geordie Barrett tries to get the step and go, giving it to Will Jordan. I forgot how to speak for a second. And now Rieko Ioane will pin the ears back. He's broken through Pablo Matera. He's got the wide pass out to Caleb Clark trying to link up. But wasn't quite able to find it. Now finds the offload up to Finlay Christie. One more to Sam Kane, who's a great support run line there. Now, Rieko Ioane around the side, offloads to Moonga. Now across Christie. One more Takiaho. Backs himself to go over the line, but he's still 15 out. Now Christie quickly recycled. Artie Savia decides to cut back to the left. Gives it off to Lomax. He'll be fresh after taking a 20-minute spell off the field from the replacement option. Now Finlay Christie goes back to Moonga. Now short ball to Sam Kane. One more drawn pass. And Geordie Barrett runs it in for the try for the ABs. The assist goes to the skipper, and Geordie Barrett has got himself one of his first tries of 2022. Definitely for the Rugby Championship. He may have scored up against the Irish. Nope. First try 2022 for Geordie Barrett. Oops, that's England. They are not playing. That was the test match. There we go. And also try cheaper to live there, mate, says Johnny. And yeah, and Kiwi mutton pie for me, says Sebastian. And go the All Blacks. And Rieko Ioane, man of the match. He is carving, says I am deadbeat father. And the thing that I am liking much more from Rieko Ioane, he's passing the ball. I know it sounds like such a simple thing, but Rieko Ioane, he passed twice there. And look at the momentum the All Blacks were able to create. And also we have got the only because I prefer snapper fright and game over. Argies can't come back. And now straight out in front it will be Richie Moonga with another kick. Points for the top 5 on the tally. He's currently sitting on 37, trying to catch up with Emiliano Boffelli, but it was a good team try there. Geordie Barrett scores it, and now the All Blacks sitting 34 points to 3 up over the Argentines and come to the coast, bro. Have roast pork for China. Would us as though, says Plan B. And also we have there Barrett strength from a vegetable diet. And also don't like cold country, says Cooper Gronk, and I need a coffee mix aid, taking me on an hour to roll this fat trumpet joint. And also, if he doesn't pass, what's he doing at centre, says Floyd King. Well, that's a good question, although now seems like the passing game has come a long way in just 1 week for Ioane. Christie back into the pocket, and it is Beauden Barrett there. So I believe Richie Moonga might have been taken off the field. Also, Takiaho now off the field. That is for Dane Coles. Kicking behind. Montoya going off the field, and that is for Sokino. Quite a few changes made by both of these teams, including Moonga off for Beauden Barrett. He did miss the last game due to a midweek injury that he did sustain at training. What position is Geordie playing currently? He is still at 15 for this game. Caleb Clark's had his hand slapped down. Trying to jump on that ball was Scott Barrett. I think he ended up getting his fingers stood on by Gonzalo Bertrano, who tried to help him up, which would have been quite a mammoth effort. And can you send us some, bro, Sebastian? And what position? Oh, no, I read that one. And also bonging on in Brizzy. Now, Dalton Papali making his way out into the field. That is for Sam Kane. And, I mean, this is the first time I've done this in a while. But Sam Kane, decent effort at FMG Stadium. He's been everywhere. He's made tackles. He's got an assist. This is the type of performance that he needs week in, week out. And if he can do that, maybe he is that number 7 that New Zealand are after. But like they're saying, he's getting a big ovation from the crowd. They can appreciate what he's done there at his home field. And also we have got the I've only eaten power as fritter and creamed. And I think Fozzie on the spit would be tasty. It's a shame that Rico's learned from his brother that passing is important, says Sebastian there. I'm usually a Kane hater, but he had a good game tonight. Says, I am deadbeat father. Yeah, that's the thing. I think, luckily, he hasn't put much of a foot wrong in this contest, which is good news for him because Now, if anyone's going to say someone needs to be sacked, it's probably back to Ian Foster for the week. Although with this result, maybe, who knows? And also good to hear Kane is doing well, says Tuxton. Now Bowden Barrett back in the pocket. Kicks it downfield. It's going to be rolling awkwardly. Argentina have to take it 5 meters out from their line with Emiliano Boffelli. Gives it a nice boot towards the touchline. And now 25 meters out, the All Blacks will have another line out. And also we have got there Aranko Sam Kane. Says Oscar and Richie called 15 years as an AB and never had a bad game, says Floyd Kingy. That's why he got 148 caps, that is for sure. And also Jacob has said, hey, mate, welcome in, mate. And also about time, Kane did something ABs can't get rid of Foster, says John. And let's go Dalton, says Nathan there. But Dane Coles throws it in relatively straight there to Brodie Retallick. A few veterans back into the All Blacks side for this matchup. Brodie Retallick, he did have his game for Hawke's Bay in the Bunnings EPC. That was the Ranfurly Shield Challenge. Dane Coles, we haven't really seen a huge amount of him, but he brings a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more mongrel into a lineup rather than Cody Taylor. Now nice work here from the All Blacks. I've got the advantage for the rolling maul. Christie going back now. Nice step. Bowden Barrett almost through a gap. A brilliant tackle made by Sokeno, who was able to stop him. Now it's been slapped out of Finley Christie's hands. And that is going to be the penalty. And, was the ref going to his pocket there? No, he wasn't. He was just asking Adi Savia which penalty he would prefer. And probably the People's All Blacks number 7, says Sebastian, had agreed. He needs to play like this every week, says Cited. And I had 37-12 for the ABs to win, says Nathan. Okay, it looks like they will be going for the corner once again here. There is still a chance that we see a rolling maul try for the All Blacks throughout this game. We were close to seeing Samasoni Takiaho able to roll it in. I suffered 2 days of depression after last week's loss. I feel cured now, says David. Do you think the heavy drinking you told us about also would have played factor in that one, David? I assume you are celebratory drinking for this match instead, though. And I really believe the ABs have something up their sleeve that will blow everyone's mind. And this team is still trash, says JC. Predictions for Oz versus South Africa. I think we're going to see South Africa fire back, even though they've gone with a lot of changes in their lineup. I think either team win it by less than 5 or South Africa win it by 10. I think it's my prediction for that one. Now, nice rolling maul. It's another advantage for the All Blacks. Dane Coles sells the dummy offload to Savia, and he goes in for another try for the All Blacks. And with this kick, if they do manage to get it over, that will bring up the 40 points for the All Blacks. Savia, I had him in my try-scoring predictions last week. Not this week, though, so I don't get any points for that one. But nice work from Adi Savia. Number 8, his first try of 2022. It's quite a few people managing to get themselves their debut try of the 2022 season. Drinking is healing, not harming, Hamish. And also we have got their player of the year scores, says Cristiano. What's the penalty count so far, says Terry Evans? I'll have a quick look. So currently, these are unofficial stats as well, I should mention. Penalties, we're seeing 9 against the All Blacks, 10 against the Pumas. So actually relatively even. And at 41-0 last week, Hamish, says Golden Guest. And also, we have got, tell you what, the chat is starting to go extremely quickly. And also, your assumption is correct, says David. And now, there's going to be a kicking opportunity. The first time of the day for Geordie Barrett. And this will still go down as the worst AB side of all time, though, says Champagne Lord. Although it would have been a lot worse if they had lost this game as well. Currently with the yellow card on the field, that was Fletcher Null, but he will be back relatively soon. 68 minutes through this contest. Geordie Barrett strikes this one and misses out to the side. Be disappointed with that one. If we wanted that one to miss, they would have given the tee to Bowden. Is that too harsh? Probably. But looks like now they've made a couple other changes. Quintapai makes his way out onto the field. That is for David Havili. It's too close. I can't watch, says Floyd Kingy. And it's good the ABs lost all those games ABs needed to lose. Need something to learn from, says Plan B. South Africa starting a young fella on the wing this game. Should be interesting. Yeah, an opportunity for Canon Moody. Going to be awesome to see what he can do out there on the park. He will be marking up with Marika Korombeti, which is pretty much like being slightly able to swim and getting thrown into the deep end straight away in your international rugby career. I hope he does well, though. He's brilliant during the URC. And yeah, I hope he does manage to step up for this contest. That ball has gone high. Nicely taken. Big shot from Will Jordan, but now Argentina still have not given up in this contest. They want at least one try, although the All Blacks at the moment seem like they will be able to get themselves a bonus point win. Great inside ball from Pablo Matera to his loose forward counterpart. And Marcos Crema. Now a pass goes to no one. Caleb Clark manages to clean it up. No, he doesn't. He knocks it on. Artie Savia was trying to jump on that ball as well at the minute. Says Sebastian, congratulations to the Springboks on being the only bad team at the minute, says Sebastian. And also we have got AB's back where they belong at the top of the table, says Cooper Kronk, although they've still got a long way to go to build themselves back up to the top of the world rankings. That is something they will certainly be wanting to do. Currently, Michael Cheika, he'll be disappointed with this game, although the defense at times has been very solid. It's been the attack of Argentina that's been slightly lacking a little bit more throughout this matchup. But I am going to quickly... I don't really need to check the odds. I know that Argentina were sitting as $10 underdogs to win the whole Rugby Championship. So we'll need a couple big wins in the future if they do want to be able to get it right. But what we will quickly go is we will go like this. And we will go like this as well. Now the ball available for Argentina. Now back across. Nice work from the Argentines. Gonzalo Berrano passes it across to the right. And Cheers with the broadcast. Heads up from my yacht in Thailand, says Bob Grice. So welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well and hope the weather is pretty nice on the yacht. And that's why Savia should be an All Blacks captain with good decision, not Sam Cane, says Moody and Jesse. It's kicked downfield from the All Blacks. There's a lot of space back there. Now waiting to control it, and he's done nicely with that ball of Uripieta. Looking for touch. And that is a decent kick going down to halfway. How many minutes left? It is currently only 9 minutes left on the clock. So the All Blacks, I'd love to be able to get themselves another move into the 40 points. Argentina, they are still looking for their first try of the match. I will mention as well, straight after this game, we are popping over to our next live stream, which is going to be between South Africa and Australia. It's a nice kick in behind from Geordie Barrett. It's just going to skid into touch, though. Caleb Clark unable to chase it down. But yeah, we are popping over to that one. That will be starting at 9 p.m., although maybe will be 8:55, seeing as this game is a little bit running a bit later or earlier, in fact, than I anticipated. Once upon a time, All Blacks could win 10 to 15 games straight, and now win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Here's a Nathan. I remember the South versus North Island game. That was a mean game. It was an absolutely awesome one, and I hope they do it again one day. So I think a lot of people did thoroughly enjoy it. 8 minutes left now. And Los Pumas have got the ball inside of the 22 after winning the line out. And Berrano does put up the box kick, looking for the touchline. Has stayed a decent kick downfield. And that will relieve some of the pressure. But we've seen 11 handling errors from Argentina compared to the 3 of the All Blacks. So that is certainly the difference maker throughout this matchup. There you go. Liquid's good for you, isn't it? Hydration. I'm aiming to drink 2 of these a day. I'm only halfway through the first, so there's going to need to be a lot more effort put in the later stages of the evening. Finley Christie got this ball available once again now for the All Blacks. Back to Fletcher Null. He's now made his way back out onto the park. Gave away that cynical foul with the rolling ball. Now Bowden Barrett sold the dummy. Almost able to link up with Whitelock there. Christie going back across to Quintal Pius. Straightens with the run. Has made about 5 meters. The Artie Savia now short pass off to Caleb Clark, playing very close to the side of the breakdown. They do need to release. That is more than likely going to be the advantage. Yes, it is. Now Retallick hits the line hard. He'll be loving being back at international level. Dane Coles also in the crack in this game. Now 8 phases in. Finley Christie back to Bauer. Bowden Barrett short ball to Quintal Pius. Done well to hang on to that one after it was slightly behind him. Now Barrett goes to Rico Ioane, close to the line, looking for the offload. He does find it to Christie. Now to Fletcher Null, who tries to step. He's going to be short by a couple meters. Christie looks to the short side. Pinsey is back, and Caleb Clark just 1 meter short. Once again now, they've got another new advantage for the All Blacks. Who wants it? It looks like Big Brody. He's calling for it. He's going to be over. And Brody Retallick, welcome back to international rugby. They have to do very well there. Brody Retallick, a support run. And he had Sam Whitelock with him, 2 extremely experienced individuals. But Retallick goes in for another try. That brings up the 40 points now for the All Blacks. We'll go like that and like that. There we go. And try New Zealand. A very close game, says John. And also never enough for the mighty. Inside that 80 is a must, says Golden Guest. And also we have got my player of the match. I think Richie Mo'unga, 2 try savers. and didn't miss a single kick. Geordie Barrett can't say that. An absolute blowout from what I've seen this year at the World Cup. It's France's to lose. And they've got a very good chance of winning that one. And also we have got there the T-Rex scores a try. Yeah, big Brodie Retallick. He's had to wait since that shot from Andrew Porter that broke his face. Now he's back. Played for Hawke's Bay last week. Finds himself off the bench in this game. Who knows, maybe does work his way towards a bench or a start in the next game up against Australia. For the Bledisloe, New Zealand need to upgrade their stadiums. They're falling behind the rest of the world. Says Cooper Cronk there. I mean, to be fair, if the worst that we can think of for the All Blacks is they haven't got nice enough stadiums, that's a big improvement from last week. It was sack Foster, sack Sam Cane, get rid of the All Blacks team completely. We need a new coach. But now this week, if it's just stadiums, I'd say that that's a bit of a win for the All Blacks. 46 points to 3 is the score now. And Retallick Frankenstein, I'm not sure if New Zealand were great today or if Argentina were terrible. They did have 11 handling errors for the Argentines, so you'd have to say that played into it a bit more. But New Zealand, they seem to play for the wet conditions a lot better. And Fitty Bomb, says Sebastian, could be close perhaps. Is this now trail bar still going? Not sure what that is, Fluffy, I'll be honest. Now currently 25 metres out. Argentina able to retain their own kickoff. Now passing back across. Going to be Juan Cruz Malia, actually right next to the breakdown, rather than in that back line now. Back across to Crema. Hits into the tackle of Bauer hard. New Zealand, they'd love to be able to bring up that 50. They get the chance, and also it'll be Whedon Francis Tuxter. That's going to be stripped away massively by Scott Barrett. That ball has gone a mile now. Bowden gets it out in the back line. It's going to be a foot race, and Bowden thinks he's got a decent chance of being able to win it. He's chasing hard. It's going to be sitting up awkwardly. Now picking it up. Good tackle made by Matthias Orlando. Well, in fact, it was Bowden Barrett on Matthias Orlando. And now they've done brilliantly. Lucio Cinti able to clean that one up. Back line. Bowden Barrett caught a little bit out of position, and now it creates the opportunity for Argentina. Brodie Retallick, or Retallick, I should say, not metallic. It's because someone said he was made in a lab, so it made me think of metal, which is what he's got on his face now after that tackle from Andrew Porter. But now Gonzalo Berrano. It's the ball up high for the box kick. It looks like the All Blacks is going to be slapped back onto the side of Argentina. This ball's just going to stay, and now it's kicked downfield from Argentina. Keeps it in the field of play, and Hardy Savia, counter-attacking opportunity. Will Jordan steps. Got good acceleration, finds a nice pass to his Crusaders teammate, George Bauer. 40 metres out for the All Blacks, and they are not done yet by the looks of it. Another Crusader, Fletcher Null, gets the carry. Bowden Barrett, grubber in behind. Will Jordan's fallen over like a couple 10-pin bowling. They sounded like, I meant to say a couple pins in 10-pin bowling, but it sounded like there were a couple who decided to go on a date night to a 10-pin bowling alley. It's going to be the penalty this time to Argentina. And also wrong mindsets, thinking that leads to mediocrity, says it was there from Cooper Cronk. And also, if I remember correctly, there was a Bear Fozzie, the Muppet nonetheless. And this is John. And also, is this AB's biggest win over Argentina? I don't know about biggest win. I think maybe, don't know. I think they've had a bigger win in the past, I would say, and definitely a mental skills issue for the ABs last week, says Tuxter. And I'll say, yeah, thanks, Jason and Joe, for doing all the good coaching work. We all know Foz hasn't had much winning input to the team, and Ian Foster, Flyhouse in his days, worse than Grant Fox at defence, says Nathan. Now Argentina, 2 minutes left on the clock, want to get themselves their first try. Can they do so, though? And actually, it's not straight. It's unfortunate for Sokino. Yeah, Argentina actually leading the competition for tries scored in this round of the Rugby Championship up till this point. And biggest turnaround, I reckon, says Stuckstand. Need a 50, guys, says Fami there. And also enjoy your team's trash and you're doing flips because you beat Argentina Baja, who manhandled you last week, says JC. And there's and also Cooper Cronker says JC, keep crying. In 2003 was AB's biggest win, 60 points to 10. Okay, so a 50-point difference. So they could get equal to the 50 points if they do manage to get a try and convert. Grant Fox was a terrible tackler, says it was David the Mod. 60 seconds left on the board now. The All Blacks, they'll be looking to close out this game. I would assume they'd keep on going until the final chance in the match. And FedEx statement the ABs are making tonight says Magic Maori and JC is a salty Safa. says Floyd King. Although, who knows, maybe South Africa fire back just a similar fashion as we have seen from New Zealand in this game. Maybe we get to see after 4 rounds of the Rugby Championship, every side has 2 points each, or 2 wins each, I should say. Christie going across now. Bowden Barrett, the set player. Rieko Ioane up to halfway now for the All Blacks. Finley Christie, Bowden Barrett now off to Geordie Barrett. Caleb Clark's a long way off his wing. He's actually on Will Jordan's wing. Malone gets the ball out to the right wing a few times in the match. Now, it's going to be good work from... Oh, it's been slapped down and it's gone backwards now. Sam Whitelock able to almost turn it over, but it's going to be the penalty for Argentina. And I'll say a loser, says JC. Wait, so is that saying that South Africa are going to lose? No, I assume that it's for someone else in the chat. I assume you are backing the boys from South Africa to be able to get the win. I hope, anyway, for the Box fan. They cannot give up on that South African lineup. So they have made a lot of changes, but I think they're going to have a very good chance of firing back. This result will bring tears to both New Zealand and Argentina fans. There's Ryan there. And also good morale-boosting win before the Aussie matches, says David Y. Now Pablo Mateta goes short side. It does seem like for now, Argentina do not want this game to end. Oz will pummel the Box today, says Hanoi. They're now back across. Nicely taken there. Oh, it's stolen by Quintal Pyre on the breakdown. That is something I didn't expect to see. Now Geordie Barrett goes back across to Will Jordan, goes for the chip and chase, trying to chase hard, and it seems like it's going to be sitting up. Oh, it's a bit of a fumble for Matthias Maroni, who's at the most running meters, I believe, out of any Argentine in this match. Give the stream a like. You heard the man. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We have got plenty more coming, including the match that is coming up a little bit later on. It's another penalty to the All Blacks, right? They could take 3 if they want the win. And a nice, easy closeout of 49, or they'll go for the corner and try and get themselves one last one. And also, are the All Blacks on top of the table now? They certainly are. They've moved up to 10 points. Looks like Dane Coles having a bit of a push and shove. Pablo Mateta wanted to do a bit of the face-to-face kind of forehead on forehead, but it didn't work because Dane Coles moved. And Dane Coles, that's actually, tell you what, if you're getting told by Dane Coles to use your brain, that's actually a big thing, really. Normally the player gets right into it. Dane Coles. Okay, so tempers are going. We've got a couple streakers here, mate, so just wait, is the comment from Nick Berry. So a couple people running onto the field deciding they want to do a bit of a slip and a slide activity. My pimpy got smashed out of the ballpark, lol, says Floyd Kingy. Yep. Oh, Artie Savia giving a bit of the finger point going. I think he was trying to fire up Marcos Crema, so I don't know what's happened between those two earlier on in the game. Now, Pablo Mateta having a bit of a chat there. Rieko Ioane getting in there as well. Pablo Mateta, though, he'll be disappointed with the way that this game has gone. But I should mention, in 7 minutes' time, we are transferring over to our next live stream, ladies and gentlemen, Wallabies versus Springboks. And we have got a bit of a build-up for that match as well. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It will take you straight over there. And also now Dane Coles is going to be throwing this one in, taken nicely by Artie Savia. Bounces off the back to Coles. Now one more. Quintal Pyre tries to step on the inside. It's another advantage to the All Blacks. They'll play to 90 minutes if they get the chance to. Now Bauer trying to go through. I'd love to see Will Jordan get the ball in a bit of space, but I don't believe he'll get the opportunity just at this point in time. Although Christie had a quick look that way, I think we might be saying, no, he's going to the top side of the field. Now off to Quintal Pyre. Once again, now inside ball to George Bauer, getting close, wrestled down nicely. Argentina, their defense in front of the goal line has been relatively decent. Guido Petio, in fact, it's Matthias Alemano with the counter ruck, and they're going back for another penalty. And their turnaround results seems to be a feature with the championship this year. Exactly right. One team wins the first week, the other side managed to win the next week. And it could be the case in this round as well. Now, the All Blacks, I think Will Jordan might have a bit of a plan. Oh, the All Blacks are going for the scrum here. And All Blacks just wiped out the RG's points difference. That is very true. Argentina heading into this match with a plus 23, heading out of this match with a minus 20. And should have put some cash on New Zealand, says Annoy. Yeah, they were paying $1.70, which was pretty massive for the ABs. And Solid Passion at the end here or at the end here, Argies, keep your head up, solid rugby boys. Being big thumping for the boys, consistency boys, bring up the wallers, and let us know to stay home. Try time, says Golden Guest, and also blah, blah, blah. When we win, blah, says JC. And then, should I just boot JC Amish, says Sebastian? No, it's all right. He hasn't said anything overly offensive yet, so I think it's all right. For now, he might be more vocal in the next game, depending on how it goes. What a trash Pumas performance. What's going on here? AB's back on form. Well, sorry for the Wallabies now back. Bowden Barrett, he goes for the line himself. And Barrett picks up the try. And also, we have got the Are Sports in the chat from, it was Marco Vanapola, but Bowden Barrett. We've had 2 Barrett scoring tries throughout this match. Now passes it to his brother Geordie and says, get this one over this time, mate. 84 minutes through, and that is going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. The All Blacks have fired back. They've got themselves the 50 points on the board. Thanks, Hamish. Great game, great commentary to listen to Mickey AB Springbok to win tonight as well. And where's this being played? It was at FMG Stadium, a rainy FMG Stadium. And yeah, and Fitty bomb for New Zealand, says Sebastian. And also, we have got what a score, and cheers, Hamish. So the next game that we are covering is only in a few minutes' time. We are going to be transferring over at 9 o'clock New Zealand time for the next matchup, South Africa versus Australia. Kickoff for that game is a little bit later, but we've got a lot to break down for the contest. Also, will we ever have a world where 30 teams are competitive in rugby, says Life Starts? I mean, we're slowly working towards it. Maybe not 30, but at least like maybe 15 to 20 teams looking like they've got a chance of winning a World Cup, which is similar to what we're seeing building up for this year. But that is going to be the end of the game. 53 points to 3. Great commentary as always. Thanks, Hamish, says Lizette. And like I mentioned, in 3 minutes' time, we are going to be popping over to our next live stream, which is going to be South Africa taking on Australia. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be talking all about this game and the build-up for South Africa versus Australia as well. But thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all in about 3 minutes' time.